I was on mute the entire time. I just realized that. All right, Donald, you got anything to drink? Maybe alcohol next to you, something like that.
Of course.
Yes.
First of all, let's go, G-Man.
Yes. Yes.
I've got this. Here we go.
You gonna dump that on your head?
Yep.
You got any alcohol near you?
Woo!
I just realized he's got his headset off.
Woo!
Any alcohol in the vicinity?
I don't think so.
Okay. You got anything to drink?
Well, water.
All right. So last week we didn't add somebody to the mix, but this week we have to add somebody to the mix. First victory week for the New York Jets.
Victory Monday.
How are we doing, my brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Feeling great.
Don't remember the last time all of us could celebrate a Victory Monday. But cheers, guys. Once again.
Cheers.
Donald, second time.
Happy Victory Monday, y'all.
Cheers to your Jets. Congratulations.
Couldn't give a shit.
Cheers to Giants Nation. Cheers to everybody watching. Thank you so much for sticking with us and always being loyal to our show.
Yeah. I mean, after the week you had last week. But be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. Turn on that notification bell so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. I'm going to send it around for first thoughts. I'll start with Luka because what a wacky ending in the Jets game. We'll talk about it. And I'll go to Donald and myself.
Listen, I don't care that the Yankees lost the series to the Brewers. That was probably like the lowness of my weekend, even though we did the first game. Notre Dame beats Cal, which was nice. But the real heart, what do I call it? The most pressure-filled, there's never, as Tyson Roush of Talk Jets Radio says, there's never a dull moment with this team. And yesterday was exactly that. Honestly, I was prepared to come on before we came back, obviously, to rant on this team again because how bad the defense was. We got eaten up in the second half by Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Our defense was getting roasted. The D-line was getting manhandled. The second, third levels of defense were bad in the run game as well. Missed tackles everywhere, all this different stuff. But then the ball bounces our way. In Jetland, a ball never bounces our way. It's always we have bad luck, curses, stuff like that. So the Browns ultimately, first of all, I like to thank the Cleveland Browns for their incompetence. Kevin Stefanski, Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb runs into the end zone for the touchdown, but knowing he should have just simply went down in bounds. He didn't do that. So Cade York misses the extra point. I'm like, okay, this game is basically over. So I was downstairs with my grandpa watching the game. I shut off the TV. He was asleep, so I walked upstairs. I was watching the Giant game with Alex. So I'm listening to Talk Jets Radio, and they just said Corey Davis scored a long touchdown. I'm like, interesting. They make the extra point. It's 30-24, and I said, Alex, please just turn on the Jets game. I'm curious to see what happens. I don't think they're making this, but I just want to see what happens. So, ball bounces our way again. Browns fuck up on special teams. We get the ball back. Mary, I'm sorry to feel your pain. Well, I don't really feel your pain. I'm actually really happy, but I'm sorry. I don't want to brag.
I feel your pain, but I don't feel your pain.
All right. Anyway, so Flacco and everybody else involved, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson with a fucking good game. Drive us down the field. We score the touchdown. My heart is still pumping, and I'm nervous as fuck because this defense is horrible, and they're obviously going to go into prevent with Jacoby Brissett and knowing they have to score a field goal within 22 seconds. So get down the field, kick the ball off. Jacoby Brissett, walks to around midfield. Next play, steps back to pass, throws the interception to Ashton Davis. I started cheering and screaming. I thought the house was going to shake.
He was very fucking loud.
And when Joe Flacco Kneeled down the ball. I started bouncing around the house like a weeble wobble. I was so happy.
It's like he was on a
Have
fucking
you-
pogo stick.
Have you got this? Have you got this on record, Alex?
No.
Unfortunately, not. And he literally asked me though a little bit before they started making the comeback. He goes, "You're not recording, right?" Actually, no. My sister asked me that. You're not recording or anything. I'm like, no. So before Donald goes, shouts to MH. We're gonna honor somebody.
If I was 2-0, I'd be doing a shotgun, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah. If we beat Dallas, maybe I'll do a shotgun. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Before I get to Donald's first thoughts, I want to honor somebody tonight. That somebody, ladies and gentlemen, is one and only Wink Martindale. Everybody knows he likes to wear a vest.
Oh, man.
I don't have a blue one, unfortunately, but you know what? We're going to honor him. Okay? For his
I'll
work.
be back. I need to get a giant shirt on because, first of all, I'm soaking wet. And,
Yes.
and second of all, it's Victory Monday.
Yes. So
All
Donald will be right back. No, everybody, this isn't a life jacket. This is a vest. You got to honor Wink.
It's like everybody. It's your typical fall vest.
Yes. No, I'm not drowning. No, I'm not drowning. I guess I'll go with my thoughts since Donald has to, go get the
Clean shirt.
nice clean shirt. He did wet himself. No pun intended. In the first part of the podcast. Mary says, I have hope with the Giants.
There's hope to be there.
MVP coach-wise is Don Wink Martindale. You can't really put it more simpler than that. When you are down your edge rushers, you are down your linebackers, you are down your secondary corners, there's no other MVP other than Wink Martindale in terms of a coach. The defense straight up balled out. Now, we could say over here, it's the Panthers. We're taking it for right now. We'll see what happens next week against the Boys and Cooper Rush. We'll definitely talk about it to some length, but the defense straight up balled out, and the offense struggled. We'll talk about that more in depth, as we always do, but just honored to get a win. Wink, this is for you, even though you wear blue vests.
You need a gold chain as well, my man.
I do need a gold chain. I don't have one that works.
We need the Wink gold chain.
That's you can't do this half-assed out.
We also got the,
Can't be half pregnant.
Exactly.
Put that on.
By the way, everybody, I'd just like to say, with the addition of the new term, we've hit 24 terms out of 24. With the
can't see the wood. What was the 24th? Can't see the wood for the trees.
Exactly. So I'm gonna find my way out so I can, I wonder how we're gonna do this because we obviously have the 24 terms, and I gotta put this on like an online bingo card.
Well, what we could do is basically, we could get download the bingo card, whatever, randomize it for certain people, give it to them, and say, refresh this every podcast until you win. So basically, you keep your bingo card till you win, but you got to refresh it every single show. I think that's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah. So we have to find a way in sentence to get every one of our terms in.
Got to listen closely.
Not every one of them, but it just 5.
Because it's not like clear the board bingo. It's obviously diagonal. Rows, columns, all that shit.
Okay, you can fill me in on that. While we do that, the G-Men. So there was a lot of positives. I was really impressed with Xavier McKinney. He basically played as de facto inside linebacker. He played in the box entire time, and he shut down McCaffrey's ability in the flat in the receiving game. He shut that down completely. If you look at his receiving stats, they were pretty much negligible. So that was a big plus there from Xavier McKinney. I loved what I saw from Leonard Williams. Dexter Lawrence was a beast. Zimenez, the X-Man, he's turning into an X factor for Wink Martindale's D. If you look at his numbers already with the pressures and the fact he's got 1.5 sacks already in 2 games, plus the quarterback hits, If you got that from a Thibodeau or you got that from an Ojulari, you'd be delighted. So the fact that we're getting it from a guy who, many were down on, but I have to say, I did feel that he was going to be a scheme fit for Wing Martindale. I really did think that because he's a pure pass rusher, and he's showing that. Another guy I really liked was Jihad Ward. I thought he, again, is a Wing Martindale guy. These system dudes, they can play at another level in a right system. I loved what I saw from them. And, you go right down to, like, Belton, and you got Carter Coughlin with a big hit and the special teams. We got a lot of really positive contributions in special teams. They hit hard. They played hard. Defense was really good. It was all about Wing Martindale. And, of course, the Scottish connection. Gillen has got some sort of freaking crazy leg. Where his punting was fantastic, sending 70-yard jackhammers on occasion. So I was delighted with him. And Gano was just the best kicker in football. That's right. I say it. He's the best kicker in football. He's unbelievable. So, listen, those are the positives. There's a lot to work on. We'll get into Daniel Jones. We'll get into some of the play calling and stuff in the coming minute. But I'm going to focus on the positive. Wink Martindale, he did tell the Giant Nation to bring it, and they did take care of the rest. They brought it, and Wink Martindale's defense took care of the rest. 2-0.
Just curious, Alex. I know Don was saying this on his Nerding Out Sports Pod. Did you think MetLife Stadium was loud?
I thought it was.
It was rocking. Even Matt Rule said so. He said it played a factor.
Matt Rule.
No, but he said it played a factor.
Yeah.
So it worked.
Yeah.
That was the loudest I've heard MetLife in a long time.
Well, that's a good thing. By the way, Brian, wherever you are in this world, you are wrong about Matt Rule. When I got out of the shower after I did the Nerding Out Sports show, I was thinking about shooting him a text, and then I didn't because I forgot. But I'll shoot him a text later. I'll be like, how about your Matt Rule Panthers? And then he's probably going to be like, you're right, and all that stuff.
How about your Baker Mayfield?
Oh,
and Matt Rule Panthers? Because, oh, boy, did he tell me he's an elite quarterback and blah, blah, blah. Holy mackerel. That was a bad take. So I'm going to take my dub.
I'm just saying, Baker has the talent to succeed. He has McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, all these different guys in. Not to say like the Giants defense is a bunch of nobodies, but you guys were missing key pieces, and he couldn't even do anything with that.
Can I say something? If you want to get rid of a term, I think we need to add all these guys and all these guys. That's something you say a lot.
Okay.
So he's going to do it. Okay. I want to get to some comments real quick. Getting all the love in the chat. Mary says, do you play fantasy football at all? I have 8 teams.
I have about 60 teams. Ask away. I will be happy to help.
Yeah, I have 8 teams.
I have 3 teams. I don't think any of them are winning right now.
Sleeper, NFL, Yahoo, and ESPN. So,
I just focus on NFL fantasy, but no, I've been playing it for oh my god, at least 12 years, 15 years. So, ask away.
You know what an instant like here. Yep. Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed very early, leaving home early in the morning. Shouts to Jeff, man. Thank you for coming
Thanks for checking in, man.
Who dat? Alex Luca and Singing Donald. Yes, a happy.
We need a G-Man song. I don't know if is there a song we can sing for the G-Man?
Maybe.
Who dat?
Giants signed Jalen Smith.
That's a great sign.
About Cap, get Galladay's ass out trade as soon as possible. Kenny Galladay did horrible in fantasy football. He was projected at 8.8 points. He got 0.
Never should have drafted him. I hope you didn't draft him. He's never worth drafting.
I wasn't taking any chances.
Mary here. Yeah. No, he did horrible, but yeah. If you
call.
got him, cut him.
Yeah. Hey, Luca, your attitude changed about the Jets or no?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. My attitude did change. I'd be lying if I said that my attitude didn't change. It did. And
And
now,
the
honestly, we look a little more hopeful because next week we have the Bengals, and the Bengals are coming off the loss against the Cowboys. Boy, I'm surprised at how bad they are, honestly.
terrible. Alex, will you do a show next Monday night? Probably not like this.
Are they going to be doing the game?
I've been
Giants, Cowboys.
I've been contemplating doing the game, and I think we're most likely going to head towards it. I think
Nice.
it's the first Giants game we'll be doing of the year. Even though I've streamed 2 games in my lifetime,
On
both
Monday
are
night.
on Monday night. Both are against the Bucks, and both of them were losses. So, tells you what luck I have. What up, fellas? Hello, Alex, Luca, and Donald. What's up, Jeffrey?
Yo.
I'm going back to comments, so some may or may not still be here. Oh yeah, yep. Come on, Vikings. But yes, and then we would officially be in first place. Yeah. We're not. I mean, we'll be live, but we're not gonna do like a general sports talk show. That will be. Yeah, it's gonna get. Actually, now that I think about it, it's gonna get a little weird because next week we have the Cowboy Giant game. The following week it's a podcast, and I'm pretty sure the week after that is the NYY News TV event. It's on a Monday. It's
Oh my
knowledge.
God! So we're talking.
Wait, hold on.
2
Timeout,
weeks?
timeout. It's on a Monday? I thought it was on a Tuesday.
I don't. Let me look at the calendar.
It's a Tuesday, you donut.
Why would you? Okay, so it is on a Tuesday. Okay, so we'll have a show.
Don't listen to Alex.
Yeah. Does Dable buy
I better
the?
book my ticket and my flight.
Yes. Does Dable buy the boys free dinner because he ate their breakfast? That's an interesting one. But
Okay.
maybe. I'm gonna actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna put it in chat. NYY News TV Day, the sequel. Come out and meet us. Come out and meet NYY News TV. This is on the 11th of October. Book your ticket, food, alcohol, beverages, DJ, playoff baseball with us as well. So we'll be there. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So NYY News TV Day, the sequel, the Bronx. So it is in the chat. Yeah, this is for my mistake. I know. I did wrong by that. How about donuts? Donut Dable. I think that's a name. Donut Dable. But
Not
anyway,
feeling it.
Day balls. Day
Balls.
balls.
The ball sounds better.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go to an outsider first for Giants thoughts. Luca, what'd you think of the game?
It was one of those gritty, hard-fought games defensively. I mean, the Giants defense did an excellent job despite missing a lot of personnel. You obviously don't have a great coverage linebacker. You guys were complaining about Austin Calitro last week. I guess you generated some pass rush. Obviously, Wink, made what he could have with the guys he had. Secondary, I guess, wasn't as bad as I thought. Cordell Flott, I think you guys mentioned, was picked on a few times. Even in the touchdown pass, DJ Moore. Dory Jackson was excellent. Offense, I thought the offensive line could have played a lot better. I don't like the Panthers' interior. I think I like Gross Matos and Brian Burns off the edge, but it's not like they affected really much of the game. Daniel Jones could have played better, in my opinion. Honestly, listen, it's fine. He's a game manager. That's what I think he is. Ultimately, I think he's going to cap out as in these terms of his NFL career. I do think he could have played better, though. He missed some throws. He definitely missed some reads, taking too long in the pocket. It's all about the mental processing for him. And I think that's his biggest little obstacle that he still faces. But Saquon, I officially jinxed Saquon Barkley. It's about time I mentioned that. I do not apologize for this offense. I bet
The minute he said he does not apologize, I kicked him.
That's badass.
What I was saying was before Alex really cut me off, I shouldn't have bet on him because I probably wouldn't. Obviously I regret
Jinx
that
him.
bet. What? I said I regretted that. I said I regret that bet because I should have known the Panthers were going to focus in on him, especially after the week he had. So it should be a little my bad there. But
You jinxed
have
him.
that. Receivers, I can't really say much, but listen, I think the Giants got to listen. Dable and his guys got the most out of him. Next week, you got to come out a little bit better, especially on offense. And this Dallas defense, look what they did to Cincinnati. If your offensive line is not going to be communicating and making all these mental mistakes and the penalties and all that, you're going to lose on Monday Night Football, whether you like it or not. Even to Cooper Rush. Micah Parsons next week. Who's taking him? That's a big test for Evan Neal or Andrew Thomas, whoever decides to block him.
They're probably going to place him on Evan Neal. So,
okay. Also, by the way, feature tight end help. Have tight end right next to him. I know you guys don't have a ton of depth, but it's going to be interesting, especially that you have your two defensive ends coming back next week, Thibodeau and Ojulari. I think it's going to be a big help to your defense.
And then Leonard Williams out with an MCL sprain.
Unfortunately, that too.
Wasn't that Zach Wilson's injury?
Slightly torn meniscus, and I think it was a PCL sprain. But I'd also like to say, I lost the Saquon Barkley prop bet. I won another one. But I'd also like to say I won my first line bet ever. Last night, I put in the bet Packers -10, and they won by 17. So I'm going to pat myself on the back. I gave myself some $5 extra.
All right.
I'm going to continue with line betting. I'm going to take a break from prop betting because
he's losing money.
Well, you're spot on about Daniel Jones. Very late on a couple of reads. I ran into a couple of sacks. There was a number of occasions where as you say, it's his mental processing. It's like he was trying to work out when to get the ball out, and then he ran into a sack and he missed like wide open guys. There was a couple of guys who were open in the flat and also down the field. Wide open, and even the announcers were like, you wonder how he misses these. It was staggering. It got to the point. I think it happened like 3 occasions, and at this point, I just went, "What are we doing here?" It was blatant. Like it was kind of painful to watch. Like he was very, I don't know, man. It was like
inconsistent.
He was very inconsistent. Yeah,
because again, he like we had this with Sam Darnold too. Like I'm not trying to travel past time. He'd have these throws where he shows his flashes of what his potential could be, and then he makes another few stupid throws. So he's an inconsistent game manager. He'll do enough to win, but he also is the possibility where he's going to cost your team the game.
That's right.
He didn't do that yesterday.
There was a drive in the I think it was the third quarter where he overthrew receivers on 3 occasions, but then got hot, and then he just started peppering perfect darts, left, right, and center, and then he got the touchdown drive, and you're like, damn, he's got it in his locker. He really does. It's not a question of talent with him. So although I am down on him, the talent is there. As Luca rightly points out, his mental processing is extremely slow for NFL level, and for me, the best thing that he did the entire game was the most important thing, and that was that run. On third down, he managed to, it looked like he lost his footing briefly, gathered himself, saw a straight line up ahead. I think Feliciano did a really good job ahead of him, and he followed it and got the first down, which won the Giants the game. So that was a key play. As I say, the best thing I can say about him is the fact he never gives up, he never gives in, and he seems to be a pretty resilient dude. Considering, he could look like shit. Well, I'll be honest. I think he looked like shit for about 75% of that game. 80% of that game, he looked like complete shit. But for that 20%, where it came to when you need him to win a game, he got it done. So it is what it is. He tops out as a game manager. The best thing he did was he didn't turn the ball over. Although he tried on a number of occasions, he didn't. And that won us the game, because any turnover, we would have lost that game. So he managed to keep it at 0. So that was good.
We'll go some comments real quick, and we can actually stick on the Jones subject a little bit. Sorry I'm late, boys. Who's wacko for Flacco?
Tony.
Very
Oh,
interesting.
yo, Tony,
show we
my
had
man.
on Friday.
My Mr. 973rd seconds. Sloppy seconds.
Jones is just a wannabe Tebow. Jones is whatever. If he's stable, sign and trade to get some value. I wouldn't even sign him.
Nope.
Joe Flamingo, coming from a team with Joe Flacco, says MH about Luca's comments on Daniel Jones. The New England Patriots won yesterday, too. Not that I totally wanted the Patriots to win, but I also wanted to hear my Steelers friend bitch. So you know what?
He bitched about what's that?
You were saying?
He bitched about Trubisky. He said he was lost the entire game.
Well, you know what?
Honestly, like, how do you lose to a Matt Patricia, Joe Judge offense?
Exactly. They're not even offensive coordinators. They don't even have one. Joe Judge is a special teams guy, and Patricia's a defensive guy.
Exactly. Pay for Alex's lunch. Yeah, you know what, Luca? That's a good idea. You should pay for my lunch.
I don't think I have to pay for anybody.
Why?
Because I'm not entitled to.
Yes, you are.
Why?
So if I made a prop bet on Elijah Moore getting over 70 receiving yards, and I lost that prop bet and I jinxed it, would you say that I have to pay for your lunch?
Not if Garrett Wilson gets 100 yards.
That's not part of the question, though.
If my team, listen,
are you a politician or not?
I don't look for individual. I mean, I do look for individual players to do well, but I want to win.
Talking about bets, considering we have our weekly bets, the person with the best record, obviously fine, but the person with the worst record should have to do a loser's bet of some sort. Have to pay some sort of punishment. So we need to come up with something.
Sounds good.
I agree. Good job.
The question is, what do we come up with?
Have to stop Micah Parsons next Monday night. 1-16. Jets got lucky. Damn.
Whew, MH.
See you later, Mary. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks so much, Mary.
Listen. A ball bounced our way, yes, but you have to take advantage of that. And in most times, the Jets do not take advantage of that. And this time they did. So,
you know what? I have no love lost for the Jets, but the fact that you guys got an onside kick like you did, you scored a touchdown, both the onside kick and then scored another touchdown, then got an interception. Dude, that is unbelievable. You deserve all the credit in the world as badass right there. If that happened to me, I'd be going insane right now. So, tip my cap to the Jets. I ain't seen the Jets do anything like that, probably in my lifetime.
It's true. I mean, it's true. It's other than the Monday Night Miracle in 2000.
Yeah.
What was it? We were down by 13 with over a minute to go.
Right.
Thank you. And also, again, like to thank Cleveland for choking. Thank you, Nick Chubb and Jacoby Brissett. I like to thank. You know what? Let's do a little commencement speech. Here's a toast. I like to thank Nick Chubb. I like to thank Kevin Stefanski and Jacoby Brissett for.
And I would like to thank Matt Rule and Baker Mayfield for not being very good at the NFL level.
Yes. Cheers,
it's
Donald.
We do our own individual cheers. Even before the season, I said the Giants would win this game. Not that I knew they were going to be 2-0, but...
Well, I mean, to be different, Brian picked the Panthers.
Yeah, Brian also had some weird love for Baker Mayfield.
I mean,
I told you.
Brian takes a number of L's at this point, people. This should not be a surprise at this point. He's expert, but he's not an expert.
Yeah. And you get to shove it in his face on October 11th.
Cheers.
MH says Clevelanding. The worst record would be me. Technically, on record right now, you have the worst record. So, eventually, if there's a worst record, there has to be some sort of a bet that we got to figure out.
I know we have to come up with something.
Texans had an excellent game, only giving up a touchdown and 2 field goals, 4 3-and-outs. It was a very close game.
Russell Wilson, my God,
he's been bad. He's been bad.
He looks like shit. I remember I was texting you guys in the group chat. I was like, what the fuck has happened to Russell Wilson? And to be fair, there's the one thing I'll give Brian credit for. He did say that he's been declining. He is right. He obviously is declining.
Yeah, let me look up the yardage he had. So he had 240 under under a 50% completion and 219 yards. That's not productive football.
You have Jerry Jeudy, Greg Dulcich, KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton.
Not even mentioning the fact you go Williams at running back, plus you go Melvin Gordon, right?
Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, yeah.
So you got 5 legit options right there.
And a decent offensive line.
And then Albert O, right?
Albert Ogbuein, is he playing? Yeah.
Pretty sure he did.
Albert O, I mean, that's 6 decent options right there. How the hell can you throw under 500? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I mean, unless Nathaniel Hackett's really putting him in a position to not succeed.
But he even started regressing last year because remember, they lost to the fucking Bears.
Did.
So I'm like, how could you lose to the Bears? And unfortunately, they lost to the Bears. And, well, I mean, I can't say that I hate them for it because we got Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau at the end of the day.
I mean, I was watching a lot of Seahawks games and I was thinking, you got Tyler Lockett, elite receiver. The running back situation is obviously very meh. It wasn't very good, but, you got him on one side. You got, I think, even better receiver on the other side. How the hell did he struggle so much last year? And then he got hurt, but then he came back and he was much better.
It's one of those things that I guess we don't know. Jerry Jeudy got hurt in the second quarter. I just don't get why Jets fans can't find one good team since Joe Cannoli.
He's saying quarterback.
Oh, all right. Russell got old quick. Yeah, let Russ cook. Yeah. I mean, all the memes are funny, though, with let Russ cook and all that. Keep your questions coming and all that sorts of stuff in your comments. We always love some interaction from the chat, but I guess
regarding Hackett, man, didn't Hackett screw up in the first game with the
because he kicked for a field goal on 4th and 5 when they had when you have Russell Wilson.
Exactly, and then afterwards he actually did have the mea culpa, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I kind of screwed that up. Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I probably should have put the ball in the hands of Russell Wilson." What do you think of that? Because obviously, there's 2 schools of thought. Like for instance, Michael Kay always says a good leader, because he learned from George Steinbrenner, a good leader never admits that he got something wrong. Do you like that he admitted that he got it wrong, or do you think he should have just been like...
Of course, hold yourself accountable. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that stature. Tony says, I watched the Dolphins beat the Ravens and also watched the WWE fight at the Bucks game. Yes, that was interesting. Mike Evans suspended for 1 game, by the way. What about Marshawn Lattimore?
Nope, no suspension.
Why was there a suspension at all?
I don't know.
Those two just hate each other.
It's been going on for like how many years? Yeah.
No, it's pretty bad.
Was it that bad? I mean, I watched it.
Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video of the brawl?
Yeah, I just thought it was football. But I like that stuff.
Of course.
Well, I mean, I thought you were referencing. I thought you were referencing like their beef. I'm like, yeah, their beef's pretty bad. It goes back like 4 years.
No, I'm talking about the hit. I thought the hit was, it's football.
I think he was protecting his quarterback.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said to the ref, he's like, "That's Tom Brady." What the fuck?
Anyway, by the way, the Los Angeles Angels have been eliminated from playoff contention.
Oh, but of course, Ohtani's the MVP.
Yes, of course. Also, scary scene in Buffalo as the ambulance has come out for Dane Jackson, who is now injured, cornerback. So, prayers out to Dane Jackson. But I guess we could start talk. We could talk a little bit about Daniel Jones and move forward with our subjects. I as I said on Donald and Rob's podcast, I'm kind of 50-50 with Daniel Jones. First of all, I don't think he had a good game. Average pedestrian at best. And I'm 50-50 in terms of my feelings with him. I feel that 50% of me says you got to make those throws, and you got to do a little bit more in terms of urgency. There's actually a stat, and it's proven. Now, it's only this year, but it's really career-wide for Daniel Jones. And that is that when the Giants are tied or when they are leading, well, the passer rating is in the 60s. But when they're down, the passer rating is in the 120s, specifically 126. So could it be a lack of urgency, limits? I don't know. That's what we got to speculate about. But my other side of me says we're winning football games. You know, he's doing enough to win. It's not like he's losing us football games. We're not 0-2. We need this winning culture. So ride with it, even though this part of winning isn't sustainable. I don't think it is by any stretch of imagination. But that side says, look, we're 2-0. We haven't been 2-0 in years. We need to build the culture. It kind of, it's a Band-Aid over problems a little bit, but that's pretty much my 50-50% on Daniel Jones.
I'm sure I'm going to be kicked off of this for saying that, but I think Donald's going to laugh. See, this is why the Giants need to tank, because this winning's not.
You bring up the Giants tanking, you get the fucking boot.
Because Daniel Jones is not going to.
Only here, guys. Only here. We get this stuff.
Try that. Okay, try that again. You're off. You're playing in the dirt, you pig.
I mean, there's a lot of players who won't be here next year.
No. However, just be wrong. Just stand there in your wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
There's a pretty good draft class out there for quarterbacks, so you might as well tank.
Luca, let me ask you a question.
Daniel Jones still could.
Let me ask you a question, Luca. Let me ask you a question. Have you seen what Anthony Richardson looks like in the last 2 weeks? Have you seen what Tyler Van Dyke has looked like? The only two, as of right now, the only two sustainable quarterbacks are.
That's why you got to tank.
CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Goodbye, Luca.
I mean, it is a little.
Now I'm here.
It is a little unnerving. You're right.
Yeah, because
Richardson ain't ready. He's not ready. Definitely not ready.
And
I'm a Gators fan. This is his first year as a starter. He needs a lot of seasoning. He needs a lot of work. He's got an elite arm. He really does. He's got a monster arm, and he's got the athleticism. He's got the speed. But the processing, the general things that you need to be a quarterback of the NFL, he ain't got it yet. He needs to work on a lot of things like coverage. He needs to work on even like small things such as, he's got a monster arm, but he needs to work on his accuracy as well and reading coverages and also like putting a little bit of a touch on a pass. He doesn't have that now. It's just all like blasting it. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And then Tyler Van Dyke was like 21 for 41. So it's not maybe 2024. But here's the thing that, there's a lot of things. And I know we're already talking QBs and all this shit, but, we're discussing Daniel Jones. So we kind of have to. Let's just say there are only two ready quarterbacks next year. Atlanta, maybe they look for a quarterback. Maybe. Now, they might if Arthur Smith gets fired because that team is terrible. That team is trash. So there maybe
Let me ask you this. Why? That's what that you really can't blame that on Arthur Smith though, because they completely tried to rebuild.
Hold on, there's a fucking cockroach over here. Come on, you fucking motherfucker, crawl away. This is what happens when you fucking do this shit in basements and shit.
What we need is that little clip from Scarface. You fucking cockroach. You cockroach.
You cockroach.
You fucking cockroach.
Anyways, what was I getting on? I'm like, yeah, that's not really Arthur Smith's fault. They kind of tore down the roster. Matt Ryan gone, Julio Jones gone, Mohamed Sanu gone. All these foundation, they're trying to build from the ground up. So I don't think they'll fire him just yet.
But
I think the quarterback coming probably
wins.
right. I think the quarterback next year. I think that's going to be starting the clock on him.
This old ass fucking house scares the shit out of me. I'm just gonna say that right now. But they need because they're like, I want to say, I don't want to say they're in the same position as the Jets, but they need like constructive wins. Like they haven't won a game yet. They're not. I get they're not as talented, but how many years are you gonna fucking give that? But anyway, going back to the QB situation, maybe the Texans.
Also, Will Levis. Will Levis is good too. So that's three good quarterbacks. Sorry, finish your point.
Can I just show you guys something? I'm sorry to interrupt the whole conversation, but this was a shot from yesterday, from the game yesterday with the Broncos and the Texans. Russell Wilson had a Daniel Jones moment. Watch. Well, it's not a video. It's just a wide open center of the field for a touchdown. Did not see him.
Holy God. How do you
tunnel
miss
vision
that?
right there. It's fucking tunnel vision.
How do you even miss that?
Come here. Hold on. I'm going to fucking kill this live on air. You keep talking, guys. I'm going to kill this fucking thing.
Okay, so let's go through the teams. So the Jets, they don't need a quarterback, so they're fine. The Bears, they need a quarterback.
Yeah.
The Texans need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Dallas don't. Atlanta do. Seattle do. Okay. The Jaguars don't. The Panthers do. Redskins, they might do. Cardinals don't. Steelers don't. Titans don't. That gets us to the Giants. And they do. But at that point, all the quarterbacks will be off the board.
But I'll disagree with some of those teams there. I don't think the Bears are going to draft a quarterback personally. I don't think they're giving up on Fields after his second year. So you have that. The Falcons, I think they're obviously going to take a quarterback. So there's two. There's just one for me. Let's see what other bottom feeder teams I can think of. Patriots, no. Dolphins, no. Bills, no. Jets, no. I'm going to go through each division. Ravens,
how many teams have we calculated so far? Besides,
I'm so far calculating one.
I went down to 13. So you were killing cockroaches. I'm looking at the current mock draft as of WalterFootball.com, right? And they have the Jets first pick, which is obviously funny, but
I don't think so.
I mean, they have them taking Will Anderson. That's an absolute. That would be awesome for the Jets if you guys took Will Anderson. He is amazing.
If we had the number one pick, no.
2 Bears, Bryce Young.
I don't think. Alex, do you agree with me that the Bears are not going to take a quarterback?
They're not going to give up on him in year 2. Unless they have some shit season like Wilkes did in 2018 and they fire Eberflus. But that's not happening.
I'm not really seeing much from Fields, though. But 3 Texans.
I agree.
3 Texans, CJ Stroud.
I don't think the Texans will take a quarterback either.
Maybe. But can I put something in the mix in terms of a spin?
Mm-hmm.
Spin it.
You think maybe the 49ers?
Lance is kind of a mystery. I mean,
it's a mystery, all right.
I mean, he's been exactly a project. He couldn't even get through his first. What was it? No, he played last week. He couldn't get through his second game.
Can I be honest and make a hot take? I
take.
believe that Garoppolo is a better quarterback than him. The 49ers are a better team.
Oh, right now, yes. Yeah,
without Lance.
I agree.
They're a much better team without Lance. I think it's the weirdest situation that they've got. There's even prior to him getting hurt, that their backup quarterback is much better than their star.
It's true, though. It's true. You can't sit here and lie.
Yeah. By the way, I would like to provide an update. That cockroach is now dead. Crawled over here. Yes. I crawled over here. I took the box that has a leg massage in it, and I went, boom. It's not the first time I've killed a cockroach like that, but just thought I'd provide an update.
Curious question. Who is the 49ers backup now that Jimmy G is
Brock Purdy.
playing?
So
better hope that Jimmy G stays healthy.
That's asking a lot.
Then the Falcons, and they've got the Falcons taking Will Levis. The Seahawks, they have them taking Richardson.
Yeah, I don't think Richardson's coming out.
3 or 4
Jaguars,
teams. So
Jalen Carter. Carolina, Quentin Johnson, wide receiver.
Carolina might go another quarterback, though. You think about it. If Matt Rule gets fired, they're not connected to Baker after this year. This is a 1-year thing. Mm-hmm. So if Matt Rule is fired, which he looks like to be, and they fire the GM, that's a new quarterback right there.
Pittsburgh, Eli Ricks of Alabama. I like Eli Ricks. He's very good. Titans, I'm taking Michael Mayer. Then the Giants, Kayvon Booty. Booty. I know. LSU, I just couldn't pronounce it. Booty. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's a good player.
I think Donald already listed off like 3-4 teams. So
that takes us down to 13 anyway.
I mean, also think about it as well. If we're going to be winning games, like let's just say we do win 7 games, 8 games, we're not going to be in the position. And what assets are we going to trade to move up?
Exactly.
And on guys that we may not, and obviously potential is every time, but let's just say they trade up for Richardson. Richardson's not ready. In this day and age in the NFL, you need guys that can start in week 1 right away. Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. That's how they grind out, and that's how they, get their weaknesses out. Davis Mills. All the other guys, you could possibly think.
Davis Mills didn't start immediately.
It was Tyrod Taylor, then it was Davis Mills. But my point is, you need those guys that get started immediately in today's NFL. And when you don't have that, let's just, paint a picture here. So you got that. And then you look at the quarterback free agent market, Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson. The Giants are going to spend money.
Sam Darnold.
I would love Lamar Jackson.
Tom Brady. There's a couple of guys you can mix in there. I mean, there's not that many. So if you're the Giants, Brady won't come. What the fuck?
You kicked him out again.
No, that wasn't me. I know what happened.
Did he kick himself?
He kicked himself. I know what happened. He touched his microphone, and he has like a whole system that plugs into it, a bunch of adapters, and then that unplugs on. Yeah, so. While Luca is,
it's a high tech here. We've got cockroaches flying around. We've got you accidentally touch your microphone, the whole place explodes.
I can't wait till I'm done recording in here. I just can't. The amount of cockroaches I've seen, trust me.
I'm here.
Fucking cockroach. The cockroach kicked them out. Jets.
There you go. That's a good one.
The return of the cockroach.
It decided it would unplug the entire adapter. Kick me out. I like that.
Cockroach 2, the revenge.
The revenge on the twins. But you kind of have to make a decision if you're Joe Shane or Brian Dable. Am I going to go out in free agency and get a quarterback, which is very unlikely nowadays? Am I going to go draft a quarterback that we're not even sure is going to come out and all this other stuff? Or are we going to ride it with Tyrod Taylor for a year? That's the whole conundrum here.
Also known as quarterback hell. Because if you're a mediocre team, you're not going to pick high enough in the draft to get one of the elite quarterbacks. So then you're going to have to start.
Unless you draft a second-round guy.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul. So you'll probably have to start taking away draft picks from 2024 to move up. In the draft in 2023, maybe cost yourself a second-round pick of this draft in order to get yourself a quarterback, go up a couple spots. But, I mean, we're very, very early. We don't really know what's going to happen. A lot can happen. I mean, hey, there's every chance that Richardson maybe just goes on fire. Maybe he learns really freaking quick. And in like 2 months' time, we're going to be like, yeah, I think we were going to be too quick to judge Richardson. We don't know. It's very early. I don't think anyone would have predicted Joe Burrow to just go absolutely insane in his senior year and become one of the best quarterbacks in football. So we'll wait and see. Anything can happen. So it's still very early, but it's always fun to talk about the draft and stuff. I love the draft. I can't get enough of it. So
Yeah, I mean, we've been forced to love the draft the last few years. I mean, the
That's
Giants
true.
can go out there and draft to be fair, the Giants can go out there and draft a cockroach for all we know. So,
Drafting cockroaches, yeah. This is you don't get this anywhere else, as Donald said.
This
No,
is the theme of the day.
yes, MH Giants going to tank for Manning Jr. next year, the year after.
Archie Manning.
Yes, I think Dable and Kafka trust Jones more than our fans do. If you notice on the critical third down to get the first down the last drive, he didn't go to Saquon. Kafka called him. To be fair with that, though, and I see where your point is, Jacob. To be fair, in terms of the last drive, you're not running the football. Because if you run the football, they're already set up for it, and it's fourth down, and you do what you did last year with Joe Judge, and you punt the football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I saw it live. I saw it live at the Eagle game. They ran the football 3 times, and then boom.
Wait, you were at that game?
The Eagle-Giant game, the first one where they won. I was at the game, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we all know Joe Judge has a punting fetish.
He's a special team coach.
Dude was planning on punting after first down. He'd be like, right.
That's like
Put ourselves in position to punt, people. Second and 5. Right. Just kneel a couple times. Let's punt it. I'm excited.
To Luca's point, though, that's like working in a strip club and not liking women.
Yeah, because you're not looking to score.
So Dan Schneider said on Twitter something like, back in 2019, I'd 100% take Chase Young over Andrew Thomas, and he said 100, and then he says 3 years later he would still do it.
Come on, that's stupid.
He says any GM would
already.
do that.
Huh?
He says any GM would do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the guy that's fucking sidelined right now over a top offensive tackle in this league. Come on, people.
Do you know what? An even better example would be like if you went to a strip club without any money. That's probably more accurate.
Let me ask you
Alex,
a question, Don.
Yeah.
Don, let me ask you a question. I know that you were in that tanking era. Would you take Chase Young over Andrew Thomas right now?
No.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh my God. Like, why are we playing revisionist history when the results are working?
That's right.
What does Chase Young add that we kind of don't already have, injured or not?
Do you know what? Let's give credit to Gettleman for one thing. I know he should be arrested for war crimes, but he got one thing right, man, because that was not an automatic at that stage. I mean, there were some very, very prominent NFL analysts that had Thomas as the 4th.
That's true.
Coming out of that
Remember,
draft.
it was the top 4. It was Jedrick Wills, it was Tristan Wirfs, it was Mekhi Becton, it was Andrew Thomas.
Exactly. And I personally love Thomas, but I was surprised that Gettleman actually went with that because it was a risk. And obviously he kind of struggled the first couple of games, and then he's just been fantastic since then. So, credit to Gettleman, man. He got that one
right.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to add something else to the bingo board, maybe as a backup option. Every time Donald mentions that Dave Gettleman should be arrested for war crimes.
100%. I think I also say 100% a lot. So
yeah, 100% too.
Yeah.
Thomas was always safe to me. Got one hog. They slept on this guy for months. I'll get to this comment in a second, but go back to the point, man. Some things I could just straight up disagree with people on, but that's stupid. That's legitimately stupid. Chase Young has been on the sidelines for almost a year now, and Andrew Thomas has been playing.
I get what you were saying, Alex. I think he's talking about, then. He said 100% of the time the GM would take Young over Thomas in that scenario. Back then, 2020.
So he said in terms of any GM.
All right, I'll give you the thread.
In terms of a talent, okay, maybe. But at the same time, a GM.
So back in 2019, he says, for me, it's Young 100 out of 100 times. I'm not sold Andrew Thomas is the next Joe Thomas. I am sold that Young is the next game-altering pass rusher. So that take obviously went cold, and our buddy Cop Pizzle caught on it. He said it to one of our friends, and he says another swing and a miss, blah, 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 blah. So Cop actually called Nicky Snacks Joey Gallo, which is an interesting take. And Dan Schneier says, literally every GM would have drafted Chase Young over Andrew Thomas.
But they were not in that position.
And Cop says, just have a laugh with me, Danny. No hard feelings. You cannot prove that.
But that's why,
That's arguing semantics again.
the NFL draft is kind of, I wouldn't say it's a crapshoot, but I mean, you don't know. You don't know. You really don't know. I mean, I think everybody would have taken Sam Darnold over everyone at that stage. Everyone had Sam Darnold as the best quarterback in that draft that he came out of. And what is he now?
Exactly. Donald, I think your mic or whatever, something over there is
Speeding
crapping
up
out a little bit. It's speeding up and then it's stopping. So I don't know.
What did you get out of that?
Listen,
we heard what you said, but it was like speeding up. Something about Sam Darnold. So I don't know if.
No, just in that particular draft, everyone would have Sam Darnold as an automatic.
Yeah, no, I understood. I understood that part. So if you want to maybe log off and log back on because it's up and down. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll have Donald back soon, everybody. We'll have Donald back soon. But I just don't get that philosophy. Like,
I don't either. Like, why you got to play the game? It obviously worked out in the Giants.
Why even bring that up? He's a top tackle in the league. Chase Young is not playing right now. So I don't know.
I think it's one trying to be a know-it-all, and I know that it's Dan Schneier.
I just don't like. I don't like when you come out here and do that. Like, dude, why does it matter?
That's like saying, and now I'm not sure. I'm going to try to involve my own team here. I'm not trying to be like self-centered. That's like Brady Quinn and Adam Shine saying the Jets are going to start 0-8, 0-9, and then you say, then you're a Jets fan. You say, oh, that's another bad take from this, and this, and they say, but I 100% would do it again.
I don't know.
I just don't like that insistence, that arrogance.
Yeah, it's keeping. Yes, it's going back to Salah and also
just admit you're fucking wrong. Hey, I admitted I was wrong. Thomas is turning out to be that guy. Chase Young had one good season and is now hurt. It's simple, not hard. You're a fucking journalist. Do your job.
Wow. All right. Speaking of Burrow, every time they showed him on the sidelines this weekend, he looked so freaking sad and uninterested in the game. Well, the offensive line wasn't protecting him, so.
Even with what Donald said before, he obviously logged off for a quick sec. 100% everybody's taking Darnold over Allen because Allen was considered a project. The Bills figured out the project. The Jets didn't build around Darnold. That's
right. Darnold also killed himself, too.
Yeah, Darnold was not good here in New York despite the circumstances. That's the point we're trying to convey here.
Donald is back. And he's drinking his water.
Is that better?
Yes, it is better.
Good job.
I mean, we're all in agreement here, right? Like, I said this, I'm not sure if Donald's watching or not, but Donald made the great point to go along with what we were saying. Everybody would have picked Sam Darnold over Josh Allen in 2018. Yep. It's just a matter of how it worked out. Darnold, he kind of failed himself and the team failed him. Josh Allen was a project. He got better in year 2, and then he became a superstar quarterback in years 3 and 4, which he still is at.
Look where Lamar Jackson was taken. The very, very tail end of the draft. First round.
The 32nd, what was it, 30th, 32nd overall. You just got to plan for it. I don't understand the arrogance and not the ability to say, oh, I was wrong. Dude, just admit it. You were wrong.
Yep.
Good point. Thomas was always safe to me. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wanted Isaiah Simmons because I feel like we needed a good linebacker.
Oh, I loved him too.
And I said, if they pick offensive tackle, I want Andrew Thomas. So Andrew Thomas is a giant.
He was the safe. Let's be real, though. He was the safe pick as an offensive tackle.
Talking about Simmons, did you see the play that he made last night?
Yes, I did see that. Raiders 0-2. Get one hog. Play the Noah for Galladay. That's an interesting one.
Touchdown.
Oh, I know what he's saying. He doesn't give a fuck this year.
Oh. That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, I mean, actually, you know what? Yeah, we can play it. Do I have it with me? Yes. So this is This is basically Kenny Galladay this year. Just disregard the Julius Randle part.
Julius Randle does not give a fuck this year.
This is the second time that he doesn't give a fuck about what is going on in front of the camera.
How do you guys honestly feel about that whole situation? I got to add. I think he's done in my eyes.
He's done it in terms, not as a New York Giant, because it's going to be very hard to cut him, but in terms of a role, he's not playing a big role in this offense. They would rather David Sills, and he doesn't want to get on the field. It is what it is. We move on. It's unfortunate because it's going to cost a lot, and there was a big investment there. But now you could actually play revisionist history and say, hey, we could have went out there and kept Kevin Zeitler or something. We could turn it 100 different ways. Donald?
It speaks volumes that Sills, Richie James, you name it, are all ahead of Galladay in the depth chart right now. If you look at it, like, what does Galladay offer right now other than maybe a red zone target, a go up and get it guy? I mean, he doesn't have speed to get past a corner or get over the top and go deep down the field. He's not that type of guy. So what does he really offer? And he's got no chemistry with Daniel Jones.
The guy still hasn't caught a touchdown yet.
I need Kadarius Toney to catch a touchdown. I'm kind of still pissed that he's not truly involved, and I don't think it's on him. I think it's on the coaching staff. My personal.
No, that's the one critique I have of the coaching staff right now.
Yeah. MA says we keeping receipts. Yes, we are. Tony says, does Burrow break David Carr's sack record this season? I'm going to say no. I think they have a little bit more of a formidable offensive line, but the way he was getting pummeled yesterday.
Burrow didn't even look. Let's be real. Burrow didn't even look that good either. And the defense, the Bengals defense was just so undisciplined.
When you have Eli Apple, I mean, it's not a very good outcome.
I hate to say it, but it's not sustainable, man. I mean, I don't think it's going to break the sack record purely because any serious hit could injure Joe Burrow, and he could be out for a couple of weeks. He's getting hit hard, man. He really is. It is not sustainable. It's going to be if that isn't fixed, it's going to be like his rookie year, where he's going to try and do all these Superman heroics, but if there's no protection for him, he's going to get hurt, and I don't want that. He is awesome. He didn't look good yesterday, but he's still awesome. Incredible quarterback.
Right. Absolutely correct. And, we'll see what happens with Burrow, of course. So score updates for any of y'all: 23-7 Bills, 14-0 Eagles. So unfortunately,
Jalen Hurts is perfect on the day, 10 for 10.
Of course he is. Why not? Because when we need the Eagles to lose, they don't lose. But anyway,
why have they got two games on the same night?
It just happens to be a doubleheader, I think.
Just blame the Vikings' incompetence.
That sucks.
Yeah. So we kind of finished up the Daniel Jones discussion. We talked a little bit about Kadarius Toney. Donald, what do you think it is in terms of him not getting involved?
Well, I think it's partly that he's not the coaching staff's guy. I think it's also partly that he wasn't healthy and he wasn't available to get the whole offense studied. I think it's an aspect of that too. So they're probably maybe just easing him in a little bit at a time. But also I think that they're kind of overly fixating on the fact that he can do a bit of everything. And so they're kind of stuck him in that niche role where I think he's actually got more of an upside than just being a niche dude where, he can, take a couple of snaps or a couple of handoffs, a couple of wildcats, I don't know, or have him be a quarterback. He can do all these kind of things. Yes, that's great, but they're not utilizing him as a receiver. He's got that he's got that ability where he can go over the top. He really can. He can go downfield. He really can. He can be an outside receiver, but they're not using him that way. They're using him in this kind of utility niche kind of role, and I think it's only getting half out of him. And I think there's a lot more that he can give. He looks like he's interested. I don't see anything where he's not involved. He gives all the right answers. When he wasn't involved in week 1, what did he say? Hey, we won. What do you want? I only care that we win. So that's what you want to hear as a coaching staff. But then yesterday, again, just didn't really utilize them other than just kind of utility kind of things, or a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I think it's a lot better than that. And that's my big critique of the coaching staff to this point. They should be more creative in getting him downfield. It's up to Jones to find him, but he's got that ability. I mean, you showed that last year when he had that massive game. It was against Dallas. We had that massive game. We had 10, 12 catches, whatever. Dude was electric. He's got that in his locker. It's up to the coaching staff to find him.
Luca, what do you think is wrong with Kadarius Toney?
I think it's the coach. Listen, you guys mentioned he has all the talent in the world. I think the coaching staff has to find ways to get him involved. He's just too explosive of a weapon, to just let's sit on the bench. You can draw up simple plays for him. Get involved. Make it a little process for him. Help him out, man. I get he's not the coaching staff's guy, but still, you want the best for your quarterback. You want the best for your receivers. Ultimately, you want the best for your team. And I think he brings out a really good outcome. If you give him the snaps, give him the reps. That's what I'm saying.
Irv Smith just scored for the Vikings, so it's now 14-7. Eagles.
Right. No, hopefully they come in and score a couple of times to get on the Eagles, but we'll see what happens. In terms of the Toney thing, I think it's a mixture of things. I think it's kind of analytical based, and it seems stupid to say, but Joe Shane did talk about earlier, when he was hired, that they wanted more of an analytical approach to things, progressive, all that stuff. So that's why I think you don't see one dominant receiver, and you see, Richie James gets some, Sterling Shepard gets some, David Sills gets some. So I think that's one side of things, but the other side is just a 50% of I don't fucking know. And that 50% is figure it the fuck out, because next week against Dallas, it's not a joke of a team. I mean, they've been playing some very good football, at least of this week. Last week, the week before that, they really weren't playing some good football. But this is going to be a hard-hitting, fast, speedy team. And Kadarius Toney dominated them, whether you like it or not, or whether it was in garbage time or not, last year in Dallas. So find a way to get him involved. Richie James, I don't think is going to do it. David Sills is not going to do it. The only one who has the talent and the speed to beat these guys over the top and over the middle is Kadarius Toney. They're going to stonewall Saquon Barkley in the backfield, I feel. So that's on the coaching staff. Once again, I thought a lot of the play calls were not very good in terms of running, in terms of getting cute. So overall, man, I mean, get him involved. Get him involved, or don't do anything with him and trade him.
Well, you're right. If they continue to stack the box and say, right, Jones, you have to beat us, they need a receiver that can go over the top and be a threat downfield, because that option will be available to him. You can set up play action. You can do a bunch of things like that. But if you're not going to get a receiver that's got the speed to get open, then it's going to look like it did yesterday. It's going to be a lot of these short kind of passes to Sterling Shepard, these possession type passes, like 3 or 4 yards downfield, and it's not really going to get you anywhere. So they need to be a little better with that. If you're going to completely take Slayton out of the picture, because he's got that speed to get downfield, to play on the outside as well, then you do need to utilize Kadarius Toney. What's the only option? Well, Wan'Dale Robinson, he's too small to play outside for me. Richie James, Sells, Shepard, for me, they're more kind of possession slot type guys. So again, they definitely need to utilize Tony.
Agreed there. We talked about all those guys. Now, let me ask you a question, Donald. We saw this the last 2 years, and I'm going to provide my thoughts on it. Thoughts on the interior O-line play, but also if you want to add in your thoughts on them just rotating guys. I know that's been a thing of the Judge, going back to the Judge era. Thoughts on it?
I don't think it'll be too much rotating in terms of Feliciano and Glowinski. I think they're pretty much going to be set. But I think you're going to see a lot of rotation between Azudu and Bredesen until hopefully Lemieux gets back soon. Left guard is very much open. It's very much best man wins. For instance, I thought Azudu was better week 1 than Bredesen. But for me, Bredesen was better than Azudu week 2. Just in terms of more impact blocking. Azudu was culpable on a number of occasions of allowing his man to get past him. So that wasn't too good. Feliciano really struggled, but he did have that key block at the end for Daniel Jones's run, so that was good. It wasn't great. I am quite concerned about the interior offensive line, but I mean, having said that, it wasn't completely disastrous. I mean, at the end of the day, Saquon did run fairly well, had a couple of key run plays, and Jones obviously had the key run at the end. So it wasn't a complete meltdown. And some of the sacks, a lot of it was because it was 3rd and long. What are you guys laughing at?
Clutch posted, our little thing, how MH asked us to put the Julius Randle thing on Twitter, on the board representing thing all day. Clutch posted on Twitter, by the way.
Anyway, some of it was partly because it was 3rd and long, and also partly because Daniel Jones kind of ran into a couple of sacks too. So I don't think it was an awful performance from the offensive line. It wasn't great. Certainly concerns about the interior offensive line. I'm more concerned about left guard, though. It's not been very good for me. I don't think Azudu's ready. I think he's raw. I think they should have, if they were going to draft a guard, they should have drafted one that was more NFL ready than Azudu. I still
Zion
think
Johnson.
Exactly.
And that's true. When is Lemieux expected back?
I'm going to say between weeks 5 and 7, my opinion.
Good luck, interior.
Yikes. Alex, what's your thoughts on Azudu? Because I'm not too high on him. I think he's okay, if that.
It's a weird situation for me because I'm not too much of a fan of this rotation thing now that I've seen it for a few years. Because Azudu you want for the future, and I get it. They draft him in the 3rd round, and they have some expectations for him. But at the same time, he's not ready right now. And he's not doing very well, and he's very good in the running game, and that's what this team wants to do. They want to run the football. But at the same time, with Bredesen he's better than Josh Azudu. What Daniel Jones is behind is Bredesen. He has a little bit more time to pass the football. Not by much, but he's a little bit better than Joshua Azudu. So it's not even keel. You have positives and negatives with Azudu. You have positives and negatives with Bredesen. And I think at times, I feel like he messed up the chemistry a little bit because Feliciano was playing next to Azudu. Then he's playing next to Bredesen the next drive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm just not too much in favor.
I think maybe on passing downs, maybe have Bredesen, but when you're asking Saquon to get moving, I think you'd probably want Azudu back there. There were a couple of occasions, certainly in week 1, more so in week 2, Azudu certainly had a couple of impact blocks that allowed Saquon to spring free. So Azudu's got it in his locker. I'm certainly higher on Azudu than I am, for instance, the pick of Cordell Flott.
Yeah, I had to mute my mic there. No, I get what you're saying, but the problem is if you start doing like, oh, Azudu's in on run plays and you know, Bredesen's on pass plays, then teams are going to figure that out. And be like, okay, we obviously know they're running the football. They got Joshua Azudu in, so you know it's a toss up. It's a toss up. I mean, it is a little worrying that Mark Lewinsky has been a disappointment, though.
Has he been that bad?
He hasn't been good. He has not been good.
His pass blocking is not there, but his run blocking is fine, right? That's basically always been his strength.
Yeah, I want to say, like yesterday, even though I can't blame him 100%, he got blown up a few times. Have you
got the PFF ratings? I know it's not
subjective. I'll look it up for you. It's not good. I know that.
It would be interesting.
Mark Lewinsky grades out. He allowed one sack yesterday, 48.8.
Okay, that's not good.
And he ranks 60th among 70 guards. So, for those of y'all that like PFF, you take that.
And what about Mr. Azudu and Bredesen?
He ranks last. Azudu
is dead last.
Listen, I know a right guard who's top 10 in the league right now. His name is Elijah Vera-Tucker.
He's a good player.
Yeah, how your tackles doing, Luca? We have a dominant left tackle.
George Frant's doing good. He was better this week. And Max Mitchell was okay for a 4th-round pick.
Donald, imagine having an okay left tackle.
Listen, until we had Thomas, I was dreaming of okay. I was dreaming for just bad. Because we had just absolute shit that left tackle for a while.
That's what I don't get, because people are saying, you know, that Dan dude was saying, oh, well, he Chase Young over Thomas. Nate Solder at left tackle, then he opts out, and then you pick Cameron Fleming.
Oh my God!
Then you take Cameron Fleming and put him at left tackle. We would have been friggin' annihilated by the Steelers in week 1. Final score was 26-16. It would have been 40-12. Okay. So no.
When we drafted Andrew Thomas, I remember tweeting, "We've got our left tackle for the next 10 years." I was sure that
you do have that.
I'm relieved. I was relieved because Eric Flowers killed Eli Manning. He killed Eli Manning's latter part of his career. He absolutely murdered him.
I agree. Once again, thank you, Clutch, for posting that. That was funny. What was I going to say? Well, it was all inspired by MH. Leo will be back in 2 games. 2-3 weeks, we'll get Lemieux back.
Few celebrities at this Eagles game, by the way. Bradley Cooper, James Harden, Bryce Harper.
James Harden? My God. Yeah. He managed to peel himself away from the strip club?
Is that one on the list, Luca?
I'm gonna you're gonna annoy the shit out of me with these terms. You're gonna make me erase this one and the next one.
I'm not saying erase it, but look, if you want to put it as a reserve, like some bingo boards have this. Some bingo boards have these terms. Some bingo boards have these terms. You know.
Jesus Christ!
What you think every?
He's making me work.
You think every bingo board has the same numbers?
No.
Exactly. That's my point. Clutch says he wanted Jedrick Wills. I wanted Andrew Thomas. If it was a tackle, if it was a linebacker, I wanted Isaiah Simmons. That's kind of like where I went. So we had linebacker.
I like Wirfs.
Wirfs is pretty good, but he also plays right tackle.
Exactly. That's why I wanted Thomas. But Wirfs was phenomenal. I remember that.
Right. All right, so we can turn our attention to the defensive side of the ball a little bit with these football giants. 2 turnovers. Obviously, the offense didn't do shit with it. They put up 3 every single time. Takeaway, Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams forced multiple pressures on Mayfield, and they also did a nice job stopping the run. Donald, your thoughts on the defensive line?
Very impressed. I love the partnership that they've got between the two of them. I saw that in practice. that we went to. I saw that there's a really good partnership between the two of them, good camaraderie, leaving on the sidelines as well. So I was excited to see how that was going to carry on to the field, and it's been even better than I could have asked for. Those two are legit against the run. Like, they're proper run stuffers, but they're also really good at creating pressure up the middle. So they were great, man. I mean, I wasn't worried necessarily that McCaffrey was going to run rings around us. I think we do a really good job against the run. I was more worried about McCaffrey in the backfield or in the flat, catching balls as a receiver. But thanks to McKinney, that wasn't a problem. So I was impressed with them. I thought JD Davidson had a decent game too. I thought that a lot of guys in the interior stepped up, so I was very, very happy.
Vikings, you suck. Fuck you. Because they're losing to the Eagles. I'm arguing with a Giants fan on Twitter because the Giants fan says, why do you guys dispute what PFF is saying? Because there was a PFF geek bitch nerd named Kevin Cole who said the Giants are in conversation to be the worst 2-0 team in a long time, like a little geek that he is. And then me and Matt are disputing it. And Matt replied, PFF has to be in the conversation for the worst advanced analytics company of all time. And then I was basically agreeing with him. And then somebody says, oh, you guys dispute this. The Giants have looked really bad. If we looked really bad, we'd be 0-2 right now.
We don't look really bad at all. And I think we're all fairly analytical, fairly critical when asked. I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on. Of course, there's a big talent disparity, but the fact that we're 2-0 with multiple key guys out, we don't have a number one receiver, and we don't really have a number two corner, and both our edge guys were out, and we look really freaking good. The coaching staff's fantastic. And we've got an elite running back.
Luca, what do you think of the defensive line? And also, what do you think of that assessment that the Giants are really bad?
I don't think they're really bad. They are, I'm not going to say they're lucky that they're 2-0, but, they are fortunate because, some teams, they're in a rebuilding year. They're in an evaluation year. They're not really expected to win this year for it to carry over to next year. They're going to have a lot of new players next year. So you have that. I don't think I don't know. I look through the worst. I gotta look through the 2-0 teams and see who's the worst now. But I don't think it really matters. Your record says who you are.
Yeah, I mean, also you gotta say, so you have that. You gotta put that on the backup bingo sheet.
Yeah.
Let me look at the 2-0 teams right now. League: Miami Dolphins, Kansas City Chiefs, New York Giants, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So make it of what you will. 2-0 record says who you are. That's what Bill Parcells said that.
Yep.
So fuck you, PFF. You can stick that up your fucking ass. I don't care anymore.
Well, there's no PFF ranking for coaching, and if there's one sport where coaching affects win-loss record, it's football. Like baseball, you can survive with an average manager. Look at the Yankees; you can win 100 games with an average manager. Football
is a coaching.
It's all about coaching. It really is. You could have guys that in certain schemes or in certain systems look like trash, but in other systems look really freaking good. And a lot of it is down to coaching. Look at Marcus Golden, for instance. He's very much a pass rusher who is kind of a journeyman, but he was decent for the Giants in Belcher's system and scheme because the Arizona system scheme that they had. He was good in that. He had 10 sacks that year in Arizona. So there's certain guys that are journeymen, but they carry over to a certain system and look really freaking good. So now you got Wink Martindale.
Jahad Ward.
You just beat me to it. So that's what I'm saying. There's no PFF ranking for coaching. We've got two elite coaches in Dable and Wink Martindale, and that's why we're 2-0.
Here's another question. I know it's kind of, you guys mentioned the use of analytics and who's used what, where, and how much. What is Richie James in any other scheme? He's a 4th, 5th wide receiver.
He's a special teams kick returner.
Yeah, he's a special teams kick return. He's not even a number 4 or 5.
David Sills. He's a practice squad guy.
Absolutely.
He's moving the ball. Tanner Hudson. Where's he in another scheme? So, PFF, go fuck yourselves. We'll say that. I'll say that every single time. I don't care.
That's it, man. There's no ranking for coaches. There's no way you can't quantify how important it is to have a great coach.
Try to tell me that a 1-1 team is better than a 2-0 team, and I will slap the shit out of you. They'll probably.
There was a couple of. I mean, that for instance, that Patriots team that won the Super Bowl at the very end that where they really struggled against the Rams. That team was not very good.
No,
I'm just calling it a buck. It was not a very good team, but it was terrifically coached, and they've got a very good quarterback. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like if you've got an average team, if you've got a great coach, that average team is going to look a lot better.
Look at the Patriots last year. They had Mac Jones, a rookie who's not the greatest. He's a game manager. Took them to the playoffs, and they got their ass whooped. They were 10-7, maybe.
Yeah.
Now Josh
Look how bad Joe Judge was last year. That team was nowhere near as bad as Joe Judge made them look.
Can I talk about something with coaching as well? By the way, we did see this, Jacob. Yeah. But as I mentioned earlier, Jacob, I think it was the fact that putting a run play there would have been way too predictable. Not that Jones didn't do a good job. Listen, he did a good job, slid for the first down, won the game. Yes, we're Vikings fans tonight, Jacob. We are Vikings fans tonight.
Well, it's now 21-7 Eagles.
Yeah,
Hurts to score.
I knew it. But here's something about coaching. A lot of Giant fans, and I know Luca has been hearing this or has heard this over the last year. They were a lot of Giant fans, maybe including myself in some videos and takes, were defending Patrick Graham. Oh, he doesn't have the personnel. Oh, he doesn't have the edge presence, this, that, and the other thing. Well, guess what? He wasn't aggressive. He didn't blitz. He played soft-ass defense. And that's what carried on into the time of possession. Time of possession went on for the other team because of the soft bend but don't break defense, which I believe killed the Giants more than people think. But now we got Wink Martindale. Less corner talent, less linebacker talent, less defensive end talent. And guess what happened? What happened? Well, we're 2-0. Last year we would have been 0-2 because Patrick Graham with this type of team would have been soft as hell, zone. We would have been running the football. We would have been doing our curls and shit. So, going to Donald's point, coaching matters, but PFF won't rank coaches. I
mean, Graham was a very good coach for us. I'm not going to say he wasn't, but it wasn't a fit for this kind of team. In close games, the whole bend but don't break just didn't work. And as you say, the soft zone killed us. And especially in the fourth quarter, it would be a one-score game. Hey, we'd maybe even have a lead. We'd maybe have a 1-point lead going into the last quarter or whatever. And then they could just go right down the field with soft zone, a lot of cover twos, and a lot of prevent defense. And then they just went and took advantage of the hole right up the middle. And they'd score, and they'd run a lot of time off the clock doing so. And we were often left unable to come back and win the game because of it. Even though we played really good for 3 quarters, it doesn't freaking matter if you give up the key score at the end, and that's always inevitably what happened because he wasn't aggressive. He was scared to blitz because he was afraid that it would isolate our corners. But Wink Martindale knows that you have to be aggressive. He knows that you have to take advantage of your strengths. Think about the way that Spagnuolo coached the Giants in the Super Bowl. Absolute relentless blitzing on Tom Brady. Relentless blitzing, right? You have to. You take advantage of your strength. Their strength was the defensive line with Stray and Tuck and OC. And, okay, we weren't too great in the secondary. It doesn't matter. If you've got that kind of defensive line that were just constantly putting pressure on your quarterback, good things will happen. And that's how you win games. You have to be aggressive. You have to take advantage of your strengths rather than being terrified of your weaknesses.
As Donald says, go from strength to strength. And you have to play aggressive in this league. You have to play to win, not to lose. So, Luca, your thoughts on that?
100% right.
Great analysis. But some other things should mark down. O'Shane Zimenez, we were just talking about the defensive line, the edge position. Stellar off the edge once again. 2 quarterback hits, a sack, a few tackles for a loss. Jihad Ward, same veteran edge presence as was last week. A couple of pressures. Pass rush got there overall more than they did last week. And it proved well. 2 sacks, and then, once again, multiple pressures. The stats are going to be out on Wednesday in terms of quarterback pressures and all that stuff. I think the Giants will be in the upper echelon of the league. And then something else as well, besides the pass rush, 3 safety looks. If that didn't happen and our linebackers were covering Christian McCaffrey, we would have been burnt to fucking toast. We would have been burnt. But Dane Belton, Xavier McKinney was sent on multiple blitzes. He also batted passes a few times. Julian Love getting a sack. I mean, I personally think that he should get a second contract here. Donald, your thoughts?
Who would you want to send contract? Sorry,
Julian Love.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think he looks really good. He played a key part yesterday's game too. I think it would be good to start re-signing guys that are going to have key roles here. So I want Thomas to get an extension fairly soon. I would definitely look at Love, McKinney. I think Dexter Lawrence as well. I would definitely look to re-sign him. And, at the moment, Saquon.
Luca, your thoughts on how the secondary played and how the Giants covered Christian McCaffrey?
Thought they did well. It was, as I mentioned earlier, they don't have a lot of defensive backs or linebackers who cover the running back or the tight end out of the backfield, and they did a very nice job. So Julian Love played well. Obviously, that big sack on 3rd down. So they played their part. They played their part.
Donald, I know you have a hot take about Cordell Flott. Tell us.
I think he's Cordell Flotsam and Jetsam. I don't think he's doing anything for me. I thought he was burnt toast. It was his first start. He's not ready. He's definitely not ready to play outside corner. I got overexcited in my previous pod that my hot take is that he's going to be a bust. It's unfair of me to say it now that I'm thinking about it. It's desperately unfair on the guy. But from all I can tell you is from what I've seen, I don't like what I see. I think he looks undersized, and I think he's getting cooked in coverage. I think he's struggling to keep up with his man, but a lot can change. It really can. I mean, no one would have predicted Andrew Thomas to be the best left tackle in football after his first 2-3 starts. And now he legitimately looks like one of the best left tackles in football. So a lot can happen. Maybe he can get it fixed, but I didn't like the pick at the time. I thought he was too small, and I stand by it, considering from what I've seen in preseason and practice and now yesterday, I'm definitely not impressed. I think it was a reach at the time, and I stand by it.
Jacob says, my bad. Was listening to the Tana stream for a bit. LMFAO. So Luca disappeared on us. But just some other takeaways. Donnie Holmes still struggling with penalties a little bit.
What do you think about Flop, first of all?
I don't think he did that bad yesterday. But I think that's because they didn't pick on him early. Like they threw 2 passes his way. They were incompletions. But then when they started to, notice he was on DJ Moore, they started going after him, the back shoulder, and then the one in the end zone where he stumbled and DJ Moore caught it. So he needs more time to progress. He wasn't too bad on the outside, I must say. But, I actually would explore him as an outside corner a little bit because we do need outside corners that are young. We also, could you possibly, if Cordell Flott works out, maybe move Aaron Robinson in the slot. That way there's no holding penalties from Darnay Holmes. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do there if situations were to play out. But with that being said, well, actually, let me ask you, what do you think of Darnay Holmes so far 2 games this season?
I think in coverage, not too good, but then he's capable of getting a big hit and capable of getting in behind, even getting a sack or whatever. Or he's capable of doing a lot of the things that help you win games. He's quite a physical corner. I like the way that he hits and tackles. But yeah, he's struggling to keep up with this guy. He's done a lot of holding penalties on him. Not too good in coverage, but again, I like him in the slot. I think that he's got something about him. But obviously, it wasn't a great start to the year for him. He was terrible week 1. I think he was a little better week 2, but only marginally. He still got cooked on a number of occasions. So kind of middling. I think maybe to be kind to him, middling at best.
So Tennessee is down 34-7.
Yeah, they're getting
21-7 Eagles. And Jack Rabbit just tweeted out that he's available, but he needs $3.5 million on a 1-year contract to re-sign. So there's that. And then
what, to the Giants?
No, for the Titans.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, they also do have a corner injured, but with that,
did he actually say in his tweet, "You need $3.5 million to pay me"?
Yeah, he did say that. So, well, that's Jack Rabbit. But
why the fuck would you say that?
I don't know. I guess he wants attention. But let me just see any other notes to go over. Dory Jackson. I mean, he pretty much played lockdown. He's only given up 20 yards this season. GOAT Graham Gano. I mean, we talked about him on the podcast with Rob. He's the GOAT. I mean, we got the Scottish Hammer, and we don't have one guy that's Scottish on special teams. That's Casey Kreiter. But what are you gonna do, right? But anyway, Gano's an automatic.
He's got the golden leg.
Golden leg. Yes.
He can kick the entire length of Scotland. It's absolutely unbelievable.
And then
it looks like you're wearing a life vest. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I said I said this is a regular vest. This isn't some, life jacket.
It looks like a life jacket.
It literally does. And if it was yellow or orange, it would actually make more sense and make me a little bit more embarrassed. But what was I gonna say? Where the fuck is Luka? It's the biggest question because I would like to go on to another topic, and of course, for the topic, he isn't here. So
the JETS Jets.
JETS suck.
41-7 Bills. The Bills, and it's not even the end of the third quarter yet.
Thank you. Where the fuck were you?
Holy crap! It's like Madden, man. 41-7 with like 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. That's like my Madden scores. The hell's going on?
Where the fuck were you, Luca?
Had to do something.
Anyway, you want to move on to your little Jets?
Yeah, sure. That's not going to take an hour and a half, though. So,
what is that supposed to mean?
You know what it means.
No, I don't know what it means.
No, I think you do know what it means. So,
to be fair, the Jets took an hour and a half last week, so it's only fair that we even it up this week. I'm right. Sorry, it's true.
I think his internet crapped out or whatever. I don't know, but let me get back on.
Did you kick him out?
I didn't do anything.
Oh.
What? So you said it's 41-7?
Yeah.
He must have unplugged that crap again. Sometimes if you move something, but ask your questions while we get Luca back and whatever. I don't have the TV on, so unfortunately I can't see anything like that. Yeah, 22 seconds left. I think the Eagles sealed this game kind of thing.
Oh my God, they're still driving down the field. Like it's probably getting field goal range.
So, and you think, you know what? Let me ask you a question now that I think about it. You think Malik Willis is going to play in this game for Tennessee?
At this stage, why not? You're down 41-7. It's probably a good opportunity for him.
I mean, against a tough Buffalo defense, I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah, I know, but what's the upside for keeping Tannehill out there?
You got a point, man. You got a point. I guess for right now, we could go over some other scores in the NFL week.
Well, yeah, we got to do our matchup and how we did.
You know what? While we're waiting for Luca to come back, what was I going to say? You want to read out what our records were for picks?
Yeah, let's get that.
Get that down.
So I remember I didn't I have 11 wins or
You had 10 wins the first week.
Yeah. I had a strong week, I know that.
Yep.
You did not have a particularly good week.
No, I was 5-11. That's not a good week.
5-11. I think I was the other way around. I think I was 11-5 from what I recall. That was
So the records were Luca was 8-8. I was 5-11. Jets was 4-12, and then 10-6. Donald was.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I was 10-6.
Yep.
Pretty good. I'll take that.
So you want to start going over games from this week that we got right and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, the first game.
Where did Luca go?
I texted him. I haven't gotten anything back. So the game we'll go over first was Chargers Chiefs.
So I'm pretty sure I had. Did I have the Chargers?
Did you write it down?
Yes, I did. I just need to remember. Here we go. I got it. Okay. Chargers Chiefs. Alex was Kansas City.
That's 1-0.
Luca was Kansas City.
That's another 1-0.
Rob was Kansas City.
Get 1-0.
I was the Chargers.
Donald takes an L.
I take the L. Okay. Giants, Carolina. We all had New York.
Good. All right. So that's 2-0.
Seattle, 49ers. We all had the 49ers.
Good. That's another win for every one of us.
Okay. The Jets and the Browns. Rob had the Jets.
He had the Jets.
Good credit to Rob, man. Credit to him. Okay, Luca, he went Browns. You went Browns. I went Browns.
Okay, so as of right now, the record stands at 2-2 Donald. Rob is undefeated. Luca is 3-1, and then I'm 3-1.
Okay, good job. Okay, the Communists against the Lions.
Okay.
Alex, you had the Communists. Everybody else had the Lions.
So I lost. Okay. So 3-2. Everybody else gets a win. 4, 5
So
and
yeah,
then
that's
3.
good. Okay, Bucks Saints. Alex, you had the Saints.
Loss.
Luca had the Bucks. Rob had the
Yeah.
Bucks. I had the Bucks.
Ah,
I'm not counting Brian yet. We'll get into that after. We'll just focus on the immediate people. Okay, so next, Pittsburgh and New England. Unfortunately, everybody had Pittsburgh.
all right. So everybody had Pittsburgh, all right. 3, 1, 2. I go under 500.
Okay, Colts Jags. This is where you redeem yourself, man. Alex and Luca, you both went Jags.
Right. So
I had Colts. Rob had Colts.
I see. I called it.
You did, man. Good job. But this is where I redeem myself. Miami and Baltimore.
Yeah, boy.
Alec, Luca, Rob all went Baltimore. I went Miami.
All right. So I'm 4 and 5. Luca went 6 and 3. Rob 6 and 3. Donald 5 and 4.
Okay. We're getting there. Falcons and the Rams.
Oh boy.
Well, we all had the Rams.
Well, that was to be expected. 7.
Bengals, Dallas. We all had the Bengals.
Yeah, loss. So there. And then 6 and 4, 6 and 5. Okay.
Houston, Denver. Alex, you had Houston.
Oh yeah. Fucking loss. Everyone else had the Broncos?
Everyone else had the Broncos. The Broncos looked like shit, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they look like charred shit.
Did they win,
So- Yeah, they won 17-9.
though? God.
What a joke.
Okay. Arizona and the Raiders. Oh, God damn it. Rob nailed it. Arizona. Luca, Raiders. Alec, Raiders. I wanted to go Arizona because I was rooting for Arizona, but I opted for the Raiders. God damn it, Donald. You're better than that.
Yes.
All right. Bears, Packers. We all had the Packers.
Good. That's a win.
What was the score there? I didn't even watch.
I want to say 27-10.
Okay. Titans, Bills. Obviously, everyone had the Bills. I think we can pretty much safely
Bills,
say that
everybody
that's in the bag.
Yeah.
Vikings, E-Girls. Alex, Luca, and Rob all went E-Girls. I've gone Vikings. God damn it, Donald. Jesus, man.
I knew it. I knew it. So hold on.
Blew it.
Rob went the
Basically undefeated.
5, then wow. Okay, so here's how it stands up. Then I'm gonna make a call to Luca because I don't know what the fuck is going on. Donald 9 and 7, Rob 12 and 4,
Fuck.
Luca 11 and 5, and me at 8 and 8. So I'm above 500 for this week. Past weeks I don't know about. So
Okay, so well, yeah, at least I'm above 5. At least I was above 500.
So the total records in terms of now, I obviously tomorrow I'm probably going to get Jets Mess's record, and so is Tony's record. But for right now, Donald's combined record over 2 weeks. Let's take a look. So Donald's record over 2 weeks would be 19 and 13. My record would be 13 and 19, I think. Let me just make sure.
Holy God, bro!
It's terrible. Fucking terrible the first two weeks for me. And then what was I gonna say? Luca's record is 19 and 13. So
Hot diggity damn! So it's me and Luca fighting it out. Now we've got Brian here. Should we get his
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so he went Chiefs.
Yep.
He went Carolina.
He's wrong.
49ers. He went Browns. I'm loving this so far. Excuse me. He went the Lions though. He also went the Saints.
Jesus Christ.
He
Over here.
He also went Pittsburgh. He also went the Colts.
This is bad.
What's his record so far?
3-5.
Okay. He did get Miami.
Okay.
He also got the Rams. He went Bengals. He went Denver.
Jesus
He
Christ.
went Raiders. He went the Packers. He went the Bills, and he also went the Vikings.
Packers, Bills. So that's what? 2 more victories, and then he went Vikings. Same my record, 8-8. I knew it was going to turn out to be that way. Because he had a win, then he had a loss, then he had a win, then he had a loss, then he had a win, then he had a loss. So if you want to read Tony's last 2 comments, I'm going to try to see what's up with him. Just give us 1 sec, guys.
I think he was 7-9. I don't think he was 8-8. All right. What do we got here? What? Dable. Yep. Amen. What else have we got here? Tony Clark, 13-19. Ouch. I know, bro. Been really distracted tonight. I am at the final table of a World Poker Tour event at Borgata. 9 players left. 3.6 million for first? Bro, you are on it, man. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. So, yeah, 13-19 is not good. Considering that this dude, this channel, 13-19. Jack's calm. Day balls. Anybody else in the chat? Fire some questions. Anybody, any fantasy questions, any picks? Fire them off. Any giant talk? Fire any questions you want. It is halftime in the Eagles game. Bills game's already over. Bills look legit, guys. Bills look terrifying. I think you could make an early Super Bowl bet with the Bills. They just look like they're going from strength to strength. Well, good luck to Tony.
Right.
3.6 million? My God.
What?
I hope we get cut of that. Do you think Richie James is a top 3 wide receiver on the Giants?
Seems like it. Oh, I forgot to mention. Shouts to Jagger. He's a guy I went to elementary school with.
Shout out, man. Thank you so much for watching. Do I think Richie James is a top 3 wide receiver on the Giants? Well, he's been our top 3 wide receiver. And to be honest, I think you could probably make an argument that he's been our number 1 receiver. Now, whether he should be or not is another question, but he has been very, very good. The Orioles lost 11-0 to the freaking Tigers. Tony.
The Tigers just hired some president of operations or something like that from the Angels or something. So
Alex, checks Tony's message here. Been really distracted tonight. I'm at the final table of a World Poker Tour event at Borgata. 9 players left. 3.6 million for first place.
get the money, man.
Bro, I hope we get a cut of it. Just
we're the inspiration here, okay?
Exactly. We've been your entertainment for the last couple of weeks.
Damn, man. So I'm looking at Clutch's thing, and what was I gonna say? Somebody commented, because obviously Clutch shouted us out earlier with the whole clip, and somebody said, "On God, Kenny Galladay is Julius Randle." I think that's a pretty good comparison.
That's an excellent comparison. Who do I prefer right now?
Well, that is a good question.
I'm legitimately
Also,
thinking
Julius
about
Randle and Julius Randle and what's Aaron? Julius Randle could also be Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks could be Kenny Galladay.
Okay, well, I deeply despise Aaron Hicks with the fire of a million suns. So I think I prefer Galladay to Aaron Hicks.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he's not on the field. He's not like dropping passes or, not blocking or whatever. But there was a video that was out earlier that like fans were heckling him, and he was just not paying attention as he went into his Uber. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with Galladay. It's a weird situation.
He's tough. He's toasted. He's just gonna play out the year. I don't see. I mean, do you think he can maybe get traded for like a 6th-round pick or something, 7th-round pick?
Maybe, but it's got to be a team that actually has cap space.
Yeah, it would need to be. But there could be a team that's like maybe short of a body. Maybe there's an injury. They need a body competing. Maybe Galladay could be that. Probably in a different scheme, different system. I could see that working.
Yeah, if like a wide receiver is out for the year or something, and then the cap opens up or whatever. Let me ask you a question. Did you watch any Yankee baseball this weekend?
No. So what I did was what?
Other than the game we did on Friday.
So obviously after Friday, no, I didn't watch Saturday. Sunday, I didn't watch either, but I watched most of the replay this morning because obviously looked fairly interesting with the home runs from Judge and stuff. But apart from that, I'll be honest. After Aaron Hicks quit on the field, I quit mentally. After that, and it's a shame because I did, because it's a shame because the Yankees have actually looked fairly good apart from Friday. But when he did that, I think what was it Pete said, if he doesn't give a fuck, why should we give a fuck? And I started to lose interest a little bit because I'm just getting tired now of this political organization that has become rather than a meritocracy. Aaron Hicks does not deserve to be playing left field every single day for the Yankees. That was legitimately the most disgusting thing I've seen as a Yankee fan in my years of watching it. I've watched them right through the 90s, so I'm still legitimately disgusted by that. And the fact that it's been largely forgotten about from a large portion of this fan base and certainly the organization already really concerns me. I thought it was disgusting. So, yeah, I've kind of checked out, but I shouldn't, because Aaron Judge is about to do something that we will be talking about for the rest of our lives. So I hope I can get back on board. At the moment, I'm a little off the train.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it as that, but also at the same time, it's football season. Giants only play 17 games, and they're showing us progress. So, it's either that or, the Yankees play at 3 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to watch football.
I'm exactly the same as you. I mean, football always will beat the Yankees on a Sunday. 100% of the time. Heck, even college football probably trumps the Yankees on a Saturday too.
Notre Dame, yeah.
So, yeah.
Jagger asked the question, if Daniel Jones keeps this up, do you think we'll still get rid of him this year? Well, I mean, either way, I think he's gone. I think time is not on his side, and, I don't think he's going to progress, and I can't snap. It's just an inability I have. He's not going to progress like that. It's not like he's going to throw 20 touchdowns tomorrow. So time is not on his side, and that's one of the ways I could put it. He doesn't have the skill set and the proven stats to stay with this team. Saquon Barkley, that might change during the year. Can't believe you almost got swept by the Brewers. I can't believe it either. To an offense that just was terrible. I mean,
we scored 11 runs and still almost blew it with
Clay Holmes. Any more roaches? No, we haven't gotten any more. At least the Yankees play the Pirates tomorrow. I might be going to one of those games, but I'm not totally sure yet. That should be.
Bro, every time you go, bad things happen.
Every time I go with Joe or you, bad things happen. Every time I go by myself with Luke or my family, it's wins. It literally is that.
Wow.
Opening day, win. Cleveland game, win. Seattle game, win. So that's 3 wins right there. Game of Nesty Nestor, loss. Reds game, loss. No hitter, loss. Jeter game, loss. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to go back to 500. Maybe because I know someone else has been offering me tickets. Maybe I up that to 500.
So yeah, it's all those games. I went to basically game. Lost. I lost all the home games. The only game that I saw that we won was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that was away from all of us.
Exactly. So, what is NYY news crew cursed?
Someone actually was talking about that on Twitter. That when the end, because someone was advertising the event and saying let's go and whatnot, and somebody said, "Oh, well, you shouldn't go because there's bad juju surrounding that team." I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, even if they lose every single time, it's about having fun. Like,
well, that is true.
You got to know us. I got to know Matt. We got to know you. Got to know some other people. It's not all about the game. I think people think.
Yeah, I could give a fuck. Really, to be honest, I was still very upset that we saw a no hitter, and that was terrible.
No, that goes in the history books, unfortunately.
But no, exactly. It's all about the connections and the friendships you make. So that was an A+ for me.
All right, Luca's back.
All right, I'm here.
What's happening, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. All right, so I'm just going to get into the Jets a little bit. Completed an insane, improbable comeback victory over the Cleveland Browns yesterday. We were actually down 13 with a little over a minute to go. Probably the best comeback victory since the Monday Night Miracle, dating back to 2000. That was actually, I think, after or before Game 3 of the World Series, like a day before. So you have that. It was a very, again, as I said, I would have came on and ranted about Robert Saleh and the lack of preparedness on defense, but I think winning changes a lot of that. So let's go with the stock up, stock down category. Guys with great weeks, or good weeks, should I say. Garrett Wilson was one. Joe Flacco was another one. Garrett Wilson, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 8 receptions. Joe Flacco, over 300 yards, 26 of 44. He had 300 yards last week, but there was more in garbage time. You could say the 307 yards were more inflated by the Corey Davis touchdown. That was pretty much needed, though, to get back in the comeback category. Offensive line played a lot better. Laken Tomlinson who allowed 8 pressures last week, actually allowed only 2 this week, so he had a really good performance. Carl Lawson had a clutch sack on Jacoby Brissett when the Jets were trying to make their comeback. It was 24-17. Browns were in Jets territory around the 40-yard line, and he makes the sack to put them in punt territory. DJ Reed had a solid game as well. Ashton Davis, who I clown on a lot, game-winning interception, ceiling, although the Jets played basically cover 3 deep or deep defense with nobody rushing the passer. So good reading of the eyes by Ashton Davis. Mike LaFleur had an excellent bounce back week. Finally featured Garrett Wilson. He played only so many snaps last week, and he was missed for quite a few receptions because Joe Flacco just did not have the vision, although Flacco was better this week. So stock down category. I'm going to start off with Tyler Conklin. Not consistent. He does have his good receptions, but he also has a tendency of the dropsies and the fumbles. I think he fumbled once or twice this week. Fumbled last week.
On that list?
Ty Johnson is never going to have his stock up or down because he's just not good. And I don't think he's never really had a shining moment this year, so he's going to stay down for the moment. Jordan Whitehead, between him and Lamarcus Jordan, I think it was 8 combined missed tackles, and he just missed a lot of tackles in the run game. Not good in coverage, had a miscommunication with Sauce Gardner. Max Mitchell could have had a better week, although I would say he's a little below average. He's somewhat serviceable. Marcus Jordan just does not need to be on this team right now, missing all kinds of tackle angles. He just looks like he mails it in. It was actually reported before the season, or he said it. He said he would either retire or sign with the Jets, and he signed with the Jets, and his body does not look in shape. It looks like a guy who has not played in about 2 years. Jets' run defense was terrible. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt just owned the ground game completely. Sauce Gardner gave up a touchdown to Amari Cooper. It was in zone coverage, but bad miscommunication. Sauce thought he had Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield, but that was actually the linebacker's responsibility. And Sauce Gardner ends up messing up, and Amari Cooper catches the touchdown. So, as I said, the Jets' run defense was probably the biggest problem of the game. Stunk against Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. The screen game, dating back to 2021, will torture them as well. Just playing too conservative, too much zone looks, not aggressive enough. And the problem is with that, there were too many long drives the defense gave up. So the defense was tired. The offense did not, have their time possession where they could chew clock and eventually get down the field and score more touchdowns, although I like the offense's performance a lot more. As I said, the defense became tired. Garrett Wilson lit it up in this week. 8 receptions, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. O-line looked better, tranquilizing Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney despite a forced fumble by him. And Breece Hall showed some more flashes this week, and we're on Cincinnati. I think the keys for the game for the Jets, in my opinion, well, it's going to be getting pressure on Joe Burrow. That offensive line, despite the talent on there, is just not, soothing well. It's not, meshing well. It's a lot of unforced errors, a lot of mental mistakes. You don't like that out of a new offensive line. And, the thing is with Joe Burrow, he's gotten hit so many times between the past 2 years, and you don't want him going down with an injury. I think defensively, they're pretty undisciplined, as in the Cincinnati Bengals. That's all you got to say. You just got to have them cause penalties, get the offense to a fast start. The defense is probably the better of the offense and defense when it comes to the Cincinnati Bengals, the better unit. But just got to control the game, control the clock, run the football, get the ball out of Joe Flacco's hands, and you'll be successful. Hopefully the crowd's on your side, although this is MetLife Stadium. The Jets really don't have a home field advantage, I feel. So it's going to be interesting. Do I think this is a winnable game? Absolutely. Will the Jets pull it out? We don't know.
I think that Jets D-line, as you probably mentioned, is going to be a big factor. Michael Clemens, Carl Lawson. How has Carl Lawson been, though? Like, obviously,
Lawson made some more impact plays this week. Like, he was setting the edge on a couple of runs. He was getting pressures on a couple of passes. But I think he was better this week. Hopefully he continues. It was his first sack as a Jet, so I'm happy.
Who's been the best on that D-line outside of Quinnen Williams, though?
Franklin Myers has made his fair share of plays, but there's not a lot of eye-opening on there. So I can't say they've been look, they've gotten pressure, sure, but there's not a lot of numbers coming out, so you don't really know. You really got to look back and watch the film.
Right. And you really don't have and you think the offensive line is going to improve going into next week?
I think they will, personally. I know Trey Hendrickson is a very tough assignment, but Cowboys handled him pretty well. And I expect the Jets to do the same. George Fan had a better week this week. Hopefully it continues.
For the money he's making, he's not good, says Jets Mess in response to Carl Lawson. Or maybe even John Franklin Myers, but I think it's Carl Lawson. Quinnen is the only bright star. Once Clowney got hurt, the game changed in our favor. Zach Campbell put out a YouTube video where he's just walking in the street in New York talking about how stressed he is trying to go for Judge's 60th homer and Albert's 700th. He actually, I thought that was a meme. He actually put that out.
If that is not a meme, that's an embarrassment.
That's fucking disgusting, man.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Like, is it actually confirmed video, Tony? And I don't want to get away from the Jets too much, but if that's a confirmed video, that's... Donald, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I need to watch this video. But what the fuck is my thoughts?
I hope Judge hits it where he is not there, because I'm sick of this guy, Hample. I'm sick of him.
I mean, I am too. Well, I mean, do you also buy into Braden Mann for another week since he had the?
Well, he's actually another one. Him and Zerline are another one, or at least two more players that actually got their stock up, I should say. Zerline, big 57-yard field goal, and he made all his extra points this past week. And Braden Mann, obviously, the successful onside kick, which is, I looked at a 5-point video today. I was watching everything that cycled in order with the Jets and how the events panned out. That is a 0.08% chance of happening. And I think it's like a less than 10% chance that an onside kick actually works. And the Jets got it in their favor. And as I said again, good teams find ways to win. Bad teams find ways to lose. And if a ball rolls your way, you must take advantage of it.
100%.
He put it out. It's pathetic. Yes, it's on YouTube. Sorry for distracting. You're good, Tony. Don't worry about it. What was I going to say? So, yeah, I mean, also, yeah, I remember you screaming in the room when Conklin dropped the ball. And did Rucker get any playing time?
He did. He dropped a pass, but he wasn't really noticeable, if I have to be honest.
What about blocking-wise in terms of the running game? How was that?
I didn't see a lot from him, honestly. Might have been Conklin in most reps, but, Rucker is a plus blocker, so hopefully that pans out.
Yeah, I mean, to note, and I'm not trying to sound like Brian last week, but the Browns have a pretty good running game, A. B, their offensive line coach is pretty good. They have injuries on that O-line. Jack Conklin is not healthy. And they got James Hudson, who was a 3rd-round, 4th-round pick out of Cincinnati a few years ago, and he's still doing the job. Did the Jets win or the Browns win it for them?
No, we won. We stole this game.
Yeah, I guess you could say that because I don't know. I had a thought in my mind, but it didn't.
Yeah, to Jets Mess's point, a lot of double teams on Garrett. Michael Carter and Tyler Conklin, Michael Carter and George Fan, I saw a lot. So just I think the offense, the game plan Michael LaFleur did a really good job of helping his pass protectors out.
So with the whole keep receipts thing, after this phenomenal win, has it changed your feelings towards Sal at all?
I've lightened up on him. Like this week, I legitimately would have came on and said he should be fired, but I'm not going to do that since we won. I think he deserves this win personally, but I still think this, him and his coaching staff, especially on the defensive side of the ball, have a lot to prove. Especially that's his bread and butter, guys. He's a defensive-minded coach, and you can't allow another performance on the defensive side of the ball like that because listen, a shootout's cool, but for the way the defense played last year and the talent you added this year with Quan Alexander, Sauce Gardner, you name it, you just cannot have these games where the defense is tired, they're out on the field constantly because they can't get a stop, and the time possession is dragging in the opponent's favor. You need the offense to get in rhythm. You need the offense to have their possessions.
Would you stick to more of a zone or man approach next week against the 3 receivers for the Bengals?
I'm very interested to see how Sauce Gardner will match up against Jamar Chase. And it's interesting because you have DJ Reed, he's been good this so far. You have as I said, Sauce Gardner on Jamar Chase. You have Tyler Boyd inside against Michael Carter. Maybe you throw in Quan Alexander, whoever, throwing an extra corner or two. It's going to be interesting because safeties have not. If I can name probably the most disappointing part of the defense is probably the back end, the safeties, which was a worry going into the season for some Jet fans. Some like LaMarcus Joyner obviously hasn't played in 2 years. I think he should be cut personally. And then you have Jordan Whitehead, good run stuffer, hard hitting, but he's just not. He's just a liability in pass coverage, which we all knew. So.
Yeah, Matt Jetsmith says, still not sold on Salah. All he does
Listen,
is
I'm not
confirm the
either.
refs and stand by himself all game.
Listen, I like when he sticks up for his players to the referees. That's fine and all cool. But I don't like when he's a zombie just standing around confused all game. That kind of annoys me. It's like I think it was the second or first drive by the Giants offense yesterday. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's ass, but after that third down, I think it was a sack or whatever, Dable was pissed. He took off his headset. He was basically like the mentality, come here. Like he's pissed. He's generally pissed out. He was generally pissed off at the offense's execution of the play. And he's like, we're going to discuss this. We're going to see what happened. And then we're going to move on the fuck from it. I'm going to get into somebody. I'm going to ram somebody or ream somebody for doing this. And I'm sorry, Robert Saleh's not that guy as of right now. And
I thought he would be because you saw him, as a defensive coordinator for the 49ers, and he was really like demonstrative, and he was really like aggressive, and I thought he was going to carry that on as the Jets coach, but I've not seen it.
Of course.
Smith says, call him Bad Angle Joyner.
That's a terrible pick.
That is an awful pick. So just anybody who's not watching, the Eagles had a field goal. It was blocked. The Vikings returned it about 50 yards and took it to the Eagles 30. Everybody was thinking, the Eagles are going to score. That's why the Vikings are going to score. And then the Eagles just picked it off. First throw from Cousins. Terrible.
He essentially threw into double coverage. They were playing zone, and he's been horrible tonight.
To be fair, we do face Kirk Cousins on primetime in December on a Saturday.
Oh, God.
So
Cousins stinks. I don't like him. I really don't.
Jeff Nelson says, congrats to both Jets and Giants, giving all hope for a successful year this far. NFL is bummed on tonight's games. Both are blowouts. Kirk Cousins is so bad. Luka, you can show your face. The Jets won.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll see. So, just a great win overall.
Like Fisk Vegas in this situation.
Yes.
But you were saying?
No, I'm just saying it's a good week overall. I think Jets fans can finally enjoy the victory Monday. Fun fact, everybody. First win in September since 2018. We were 0-12 before then. 0-12 from September of 2018. Well, yeah, it was from the Sam Darnold game to all the way here to yesterday. So it's great that we got a win in September. The next challenge is to get over 500. When was the last time you were over 500? Actually, 2018. We were 1-0 after the Lions win. And this is a winnable game against Cincinnati. If you don't win, you win against Pittsburgh. At minimum, I want to start 2-2. I don't want to start 1-3. Because you could beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is incredibly conservative offensively, and their playbook is just as bad. Cincinnati, I think they do they make a lot of unforced errors. So you got to make. This is the situation next week where the Jets got to make Cincinnati pay for the mistakes.
Right. By the way, for anyone who didn't know, Malik Willis stepped into the game for the Titans at the end. 1 for 4 for 6 yards and a fumble. So
I didn't expect the Titans to get their ass handed to them like that.
The Mutts are up 7-2 against the Brew Crew.
Like, Luca, hold on. I didn't hear you. What was the last thing you said?
What was I? Oh, my God. I just lost it. Yeah, I don't know. I just blanked out.
It was about the Titans?
Oh, I was saying I didn't expect him to get their asses whooped. And if you guys haven't seen
Their asses whooped like the
Tone-
one on the screen.
yes, like the donkey. If you guys haven't seen Tony tagged you guys in the tweet with the Zach Campbell video.
Yeah.
You know what would be fun? If you get the link to like the video and then we show it on screen, we watch it live.
The thing with that
Is you're gonna
If
get
it was
copyrighted.
copyright. See, that's the only thing I listen. I would have done it, but copyright. I hate copyright. Zach Campbell probably would feed off that shit. So if it was a Twitter video, I would say okay. But welcome to YouTube. That's what happens. Donkey, yes, donkey. So they got their asses handed to them, just like Robert Saleh was an ass of himself last week.
Yeah, he did.
But
I'll be honest. Put aside what happened last week, I thought he handled the press conference really well today and yesterday. He's like, great that we won, but we got to move on. That's what you got to do.
So it does definitely look like Philly. By the way, we calculated the records while Luka was gone. Brian was 8-8 in week 2. Donald was 9-7. Rob was 12-4.
Holy shit!
I was 8-8. You were 11-5.
All right, not bad, not bad. I like that. Second place.
Right. Any other games you want to go over?
All right, I got to report, everybody. The New York Mets have officially clinched the playoffs. Before we have. The New York Mets clinching the playoffs before the Yankees. I am appalled. Listen, the fans deserve it, but
Donald, your thoughts?
I'm recalculating Brian's score because I'm not sure if it was 8-8.
I want to say it was because it was win-loss, 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 win-loss. Congrats to the Mets. It won't be copyrighted if y'all are reacting to it, but if you play it and don't react, then it's copyrighted.
that's some true testy waters. I mean, if you want to do it, you want to do it.
Yeah, 8-8. Yeah. Still.
Right. Showalter is worth every penny they pay him. Got him back to the playoffs, so, I mean, can't complain about that. The Braves are, I think, better than us, right? Record-wise?
They probably are. I mean,
how many
NL's
games do
kinda
we need
stacked.
to get in the playoffs, though?
There's a magic number for that. All right, so the Yankees are at 88 and 58. Astros have done their clinching. The Mets have clinched. They're 94 and 55. The Braves are 92 and 55. So,
Damn, you know it's bad when the Rockies and the Diamondbacks and the Giants have not been eliminated. All are like 30 games back at the Dodgers.
The Cardinals could end up with a better record than the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, I think I have this thing right here. Let me just.
Buck is awesome. He did well for the Orioles as well. Yep.
Yeah,
Tony's an Orioles
I'm a big Buck stand.
6 for the Yankees. 11 for the American League East. 16 games remaining. Don't waste time.
We'll see. It's going to be a stressful end. It's going to be down to the wire. Donald's not very enticed by that.
I don't think anyone should be.
I know.
How have you been totally locked in? Because Alex, when you were away there, Luca, he asked me like how I'm feeling about the Yankees right now. Are you been totally locked in or not?
I'll be 100%. I'll be completely transparent here. I have not been locked in. I wasn't locked in on Sunday. I wasn't locked in on Saturday because I'm sorry. College football and football's my priority right now because the Yankees have just watered me down. They've kind of like I don't want to sit here and play like victim here, but they've beaten me down with their incompetence. It's like no surprise that they lose series because they just genuinely do not care about winning. And I'm sorry. Like I know we're talking football here, but I want to say a big fuck you. I'm going to turn my face on here. I want to say a big fuck you to I want to say a big fuck you to Aaron Hicks for slamming the Yankees organization. If you guys heard what we said, Listen, I didn't even read the comments till yesterday. The comments.
Get the comments up. Get the comments up. Let's do it. Let's let it rip.
I was like, this guy's serious, right? I gotta find this.
What's the Donald term about the Yankees, though, after Boone said it, Luca? You got to say it. They don't.
He doesn't have the strength in his convictions. All right, here we go. Should I share this or should I not?
Share it on the screen.
Share it, my man.
Jeff Nelson says, on any word on Albert hitting home run tonight? I haven't looked. I don't think he has.
I haven't heard. It wouldn't come up on my. It wouldn't come up on my phone, hoodie.
Joey Gallo started to play better with the Dodgers, and I saw on a podcast that Dave Roberts played a big part of that, with him wanting to get the most out of his players. As of right now, I feel the more I play, the better I'm going to play. That's not what's going on right now. Things are tough in New York. I don't have an answer. If they feel that this isn't the right fit for me, that's their call. If I do go to another team, I know I can help them win. What the fuck are you on, bro? Like, honestly, like, here's one thing. I get that, like, players have a certain ego about them and a certain way of going about themselves. Who the fuck are you to call out this organization? I get it. They're trash. Trust me. We've all ripped them to shreds all year. You're hitting 210, motherfucker. And what's Joey Gallo doing in L.A.? Nothing. I'm sorry. He was hot through his first couple of games, and they died in the weeds. He went back to form.
I'm really sorry, but you've lost the plot.
He has lost the plot. But, no, I got to say it. He's lost the plot. But honestly, like, I blame the Yankees 50-50 on this. Hicks 50, Yankees 50. Because they've established this bullshit culture of not holding anybody accountable. You know what pissed me off as well? He played the next day. He played the lineup the next day. And there's no accountability. There's no leadership. No transparency. Nothing. And this is why this team's going to go nowhere. They're going to go fucking nowhere.
That was a fucking joke. Who the fuck is Aaron Hicks to call out Aaron Boone? The one fucker who stands up for him. Aaron Boone makes himself look like a fucking idiot to protect Aaron Hicks. And Aaron Hicks has the balls to call him out. What are you calling him out for? He's fucking running in front of a bus to look after you. Look after your useless, lazy, good-for-nothing, fucking shitty ass. He stands up for you. And what do you repay him with? Brian Roberts gets more out of his players. He gets the best out of his players. Well, fucking try and get in touch with them and try and see if they want you. I don't think they will, because nobody fucking wants you, you useless piece of shit, apart from the Yankees. I mean, what was he talking about? If I know that if I play every day,
that he'll be better.
I can help a team win. Dude, you're playing every fucking day. He's played more than fucking anyone. Apart from Aaron Judge, he's playing every fucking day. Who the fuck?
Zero accountability. We have Estevan. Listen, I've kind of picked on Florial a little bit. I think the Yankees did damage to him, but I don't think he's impressed much so far, like this year. I don't even know what to say in terms of, like, listen, do I think Florial deserves a spot over Hicks? Absolutely. But why does it, and again, I say this is the problem with Yankees leadership. This is the problem. There's no accountability, no transparency, no nothing. And this is exactly what you get for letting players walk. They've completely, there's no
100%.
Tough guy in the locker room. There's no tough guy that's going to say, dude, you fucked up today. How about you play a little better? There's no guy who's going to, I'm sorry, Aaron Judge is not that guy. I don't think, but you want to hear, I'm going to be completely transparent. I don't think Aaron Judge is a leader. There's no leader on this team.
Yeah. I just want to go through a couple of comments, then read what players have played more games than Aaron Hicks. Terrence Gore is better than Aaron Hicks. Yeah, I mean, I would go with that.
He's a fucking stick.
Alex, what's good with the life preserver? This is a vest, and I'm honoring Wink One. I'm going to get the question at some point.
Fucking hero.
They should shit all over the LI Pirates. Hicks is far from the player he once was as a defensive master. Yanks about to shit on the Pirates, hopefully. What up, MH? Maryland is 3-0, and I have no idea that their QB is to his little brother. Yeah, Talia Tagovailoa. And I don't think the Cardinals play tonight.
This
So
whole thing regarding the Yankees, I'm sorry to interrupt, Donald, but I have zero confidence that they're going to make the. I'll completely transparent again. I don't think they're going to make the right moves moving forward, and I don't think they prioritize winning. They only prioritize, they'll do a certain amount of winning. They don't want to win a championship. They'll do what's okay, as long as they create the spin and can make the fans happy. As long as they get the chicken buckets every year, as long as fan merchandise is bought, all these other things. If Aaron Judge is not back next year, you expect more of the same.
that was exactly what I tweeted there, Luca, was at the time, was that, yeah, of course, partly Aaron Hicks being a moron, which he is, soft, etc. But to be honest, all of that's been cultivated by the Yankees. The Yankees have bowed down to Aaron Hicks, man. They have allowed him to be a non-performer for about 3 years minimum, probably 4 years, right? Re-upped him to a massive contract, far above his abilities, gave him the center field job without competition for years now. He's clearly soft mentally. I mean, we already saw him last year take himself a sad day. I'm not feeling sad. I'm feeling sad today, so I'm going to take the day off. That was when, obviously, during some of the protests and stuff. But it just shows that he's not really locked in on baseball.
He doesn't care.
He's not locked in on baseball. He does not care, man. And when he gave up on the field the other week, that's when I wouldn't say gave up on the team, but I've stopped watching the team. I've not watched the live game since, apart from when we did that live stream. I have not watched the live
blame
stream.
You, Donald.
I've not watched the live game
We weren't
since.
even paying attention to the game. We're making fucking dirty jokes.
That's true. I didn't pay attention to it either. I give a flying fuck. Quite honestly, after Aaron Hicks did that, I checked out. Why? Because Aaron Boone defended him, and because the Yankees found a way to get him back in left field about 2 days later. There is no accountability in this organization. There's no accountability from Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks himself, during that, what you just read out there, at no point did he say, I've not had a good year. I wish I could have done better. I wish I could have done more to help this team. He's played every fucking day, and he's been fucking useless, right? And he quit on the field a couple of days later, and he's not apologized or anything. And yet, why should, and I keep going back to it, but Pete said it at the time when he was ranting and raving on his legendary rant when Aaron Hicks gave up on the field. He says, if he doesn't give a fuck, why should we? And I've taken it to heart. And I wouldn't say I don't give a fuck because I wouldn't say I don't give a fuck because I very much give a fuck about the Yankees. But why should I be so invested in an organization that isn't invested in putting the best product on the field? They are more interested in protecting themselves, self-preservation, optics, spin, and ego. You know, because Brian Cashman or Aaron Boone will never admit to the fact that Aaron Hicks has been a huge problem. And they'll never admit it because they're so invested in him. And why should I be that invested back? So, yeah, I've checked out, man. And it's a shame because Aaron Judge is having the greatest individual season I've ever freaking seen. I thought the season that A-Rod had when he hit like 53, 54 home runs or whatever was the best year I had ever seen. But Aaron Judge is going to eclipse that. So certainly as a Yankee, there are Barry Bonds and all that stuff. But it's a season of the ages. Yet I'm more upset. I'm more angry at this organization. I just feel like I'm being lied to. And I really don't like being lied to.
Donald, you're 100% right. I mean, you said it. They don't care about winning, so they're not. As you said, they're not trying to put their best product on the field. I talk about how several times, either it was on Twin Bill, Game Season Live run here, they took July and August off knowingly. It's not like they were hampered by injuries. Now that they are, they generally want to mail in games. It's like, okay, well, we'll take a couple of games off. The Astros will jump in front of us. We'll make the postseason. Maybe we'll win the division. Who knows? Toronto's behind us. They're 4.5 games behind us. I gotta check by the way, I gotta check
5.5.
5.5 now. Who cares?
They definitely took July and August off, but the thing is, I don't think it was necessarily the case of I don't care. I think that they already thought the division was wrapped up, so they stopped playing.
Right.
That's what I really do think. I think they were already, after the All-Star break, they were already planning their postseason rotation in freaking July, and it's come back to bite them because they ended up having a massive collapse, and if they didn't pick up a couple of wins over this last week, then they'd be in second place now. They were that close to completely shitting the bed. I don't think it was planned. That was definitely not planned, but they definitely planned in July to take the foot off the gas. That's when they started doing all their stupid shit that they were doing the year before and the year before that, where they think, oh, we're comfortable. We've got this in the bag. And it always comes back to bite them in the ass because the Yankees have to be smarter than everyone. We see everything way ahead of everybody else. That's what they always think. Like we're always 10 steps ahead of you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to start rotating everyone. We're going to start resting everyone. We're going to start taking series off to plan for future series because that's what the Yankees loved to do last year. And how did it work out for them? Pretty fucking badly. How's it working out for them now? Pretty fucking badly. Put your best team on the fucking field. It's as simple as that. You don't need to try and be smarter than us.
I still think it's embarrassing that the Mets, I would agree the Yankees are a better roster. The Mets actually gave a shit. They didn't take games off. They had their, those little bad streaks, but they generally cared about winning.
Cares about the team.
Yeah, right. The owner actually cares. The owner actually could probably name players. Probably can name the starting lineup. But it's embarrassing, dude. I'll be honest with you, even though, could say all this and this and this, even though I work for a Yankees company, not Yankees related, like not Yankee associated, NY News TV, I'm not logged in. I'm just not. I'm sorry to interrupt, Alex. I'm just not logged in. I'm sorry. I genuinely don't care right now. And this is probably the most down I've been on the Yankees because it's not like they just started mailing in games this year. It was last year. Mm-hmm. It was the year before, and it's the same leadership, and they think the same thing is going to work. They'll be like, oh, maybe it's just different personnel, this, and this. They generally don't care, and why should I? I understand. I understand. It's my job. I'm not like a paid job to make content off of it because me and Alex work for NY News TV, and they do a great job. Francis, Christian, all those guys over there. I appreciate them. I appreciate them for bringing me on. I would appreciate it when I was on Pinstripe. Hopefully I'm on Pinstripe again. But I'm just logged off. It's football season. Training camp for basketball's around the corner. I have better endeavors.
That's where I'm at. It's it's not just because of this year. It's because this has been the same story on repeat for the last 3 years. And a lot of it is their own doing. What we've already seen, and we've seen over the last 3 years, is when they play the same lineup consistently and they don't do all these rotating here, left, right, and center, they tend to win most of their games pretty consistently and look pretty damn good doing it. But they always have to get in the way, and they always need to mess around with things. They need to try and always look like they're 10 steps ahead of you. But in reality, they're actually not that much smarter than they certainly aren't any smarter than they think they are. And that's why I have a huge problem with it. I'm jaded with it. It's like, you can keep spinning all the time if you want, but eventually I'm just going to check out. I checked out last year. I remember I watched the wild card game and I was half interested. By the first inning, once the game was over, once a couple of home runs cleared the wall, I was half interested. I wasn't even paying attention. And that's how jaded I am with this organization, because this organization is not that committed to winning. It's kind of committed, but it's not all the way there. And I'm the same. I'm kind of committed, but I'm not all the way there, even though I kind of work for the Yankees, technically doing content. Well, not for the Yankees,
of course,
doing content for the Yankees. And I'm still half there at best.
I'm just gonna ask this. I probably wouldn't have gone to the stadium as much times if the Yankees didn't have that phantom hot run in the beginning of the months, the beginning of the season. I don't think they would have filled up much seats because a lot of fans knew what this team was. Some people were gaslighting us. We all know who those are. But just imagine. I would be more pissed off now. But just imagine if they're not on that hot run. Right now, we'd be fighting for a wild card spot if we didn't have the hot run through April, in May, in June.
Dude.
Then we stop caring in June.
Sorry, Alex.
I want to say a few things, but I also want to get some comments. Every passion is rooted when you aren't getting paid for it, but still love it, especially loving the team here for how many years. That seriously does look like a life preserver. Well, I might need it from the cockroach. Non-Yankee fans are becoming Judge fans. It's like a LeBron in sense. I think a lot of people are like that with Ohtani, but you might not be wrong. MLB at Bat has a feature where you could watch individual at bats. Wouldn't blame you just to watch Judge. Showalter on this Yankee team would have them at 100 wins easy. Guys would play harder for him. DJ and Hicks aren't players worth 5-year plus deals. Were the Yankee fans were there Yankee fans who clamored to get Hicks? At the time, I don't know because I wasn't on social media, but there were fans earlier in the year saying, Aaron Hicks is the blame guy. He's the poster boy. Yeah, look at that now. Everybody's trying to spin it. And you know what the problem is? And maybe I'm, biased. Maybe I'm, backwards in my standards for teams. But if you were to present those same tweets to the people who tweeted them, they would accuse you of rooting against the team.
Mm-hmm.
When you could literally go back and say, no, you were gaslighting me. And I could say two things. A, I'm glad I'm not a one-sport homer anymore because I don't tell anybody how to fan, but I don't like one-sport homers. Like, Pete,
Right.
He watches the 49ers, so he's not a one-sport homer. There's a couple other guys I know. They're not one-sport homers. Some guys are, but listen, they're not annoying about it. Like, for instance, Joe the Librarian was talking about how the NFL can't compare to the MLB or something like that. Like, what are you talking about?
The NFL, I'll be honest with you, the NFL is a lot more entertainment value, especially when it gets really good.
Of course. It's not even competition. Absolutely.
No, it's not. And, whether you could say, oh, I'm a Jets fan, I don't watch the NFL, whatever. Like, stop being a Yankee homer. A. B, if I didn't have a channel that was half dedicated to the Yankees, and I'm not saying this for clicks and whatnot, because it's the truth, I don't get paid, okay? I come on here, make content because I want to. Because I want to grow this channel, because I want to talk to people about their feelings about the same teams that I root for. So if I didn't have a half Yankees dedicated channel, and if I didn't actually work for NYY News TV, I would have done what some older fan did, and I would have shut off the game. I said, I'm not fucking watching this team for a while. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. That's what I would have done. And I've kind of done it. It's hard sometimes to get through Twinville, knowing that sometimes, you don't watch the game. You're not totally in tune. So you kind of have to actually look up the notes and all that stuff. Donald, I mean, listen, I know you do a podcast 5 times a week, but even like 2 times a week, if you did it, you'd be repeating the same nonsense over and over again because you're not tuned in.
I have to watch most of these games because I have to talk about it 5 days a week. But man, it's a struggle. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, do I have to talk about this team again? Like, there's nothing interesting to talk about. What is it to talk about? Aaron Judge rocks. Everybody else kind of is average, apart from a couple people here or there you can name. But I've been great. I've had great years. Obviously, Nestor's had a great year. I would say Rizzo's probably had a really good year. That's about it. I mean, Garrett Cole has not been good. He's playing like a 3 when he should be a number 1. We don't have a closer. Our bullpen's.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Donald. I just loved your mini rant at Clay Holmes on Friday. When Renfroe hit that double, you were like, I told you about this motherfucker Clay Holmes. How many times do I have to fucking tell you?
I know. And then he almost blew it again. Aaron Boone found an excuse to put him in a situation where he almost imploded, and he almost imploded. Again, it was, what was it, last game where we won 11-8 or whatever it was. I don't care. It was the bases loaded. and he almost fucked that up too. So I mean, we don't have a closer.
We don't, and it's weird though. Also, as well, we don't have an ace either. But I see fanboys on Twitter. Oh, my ace, Garrett Cole. What the fuck are you talking about? He is not an ace.
They want Garrett Cole to suck their
Not this
dick.
year. Not this year.
And let me say something else.
He was better last year. He was a much better pitcher last year.
Right, and the focus wasn't on him as many times. He didn't have as many blowups last year either. But let me say this: you could sit here and say, like I've seen fanboys on Twitter that have never watched any '90s baseball, and I've watched Yankee Classics, and I know that's not the most memorable thing ever, but people say Garrett Cole's better than every pitcher the Yankees had in their '90s dynasty.
All true.
You could talk about talent, but at the same time, they lived up to their expectations. Garrett Cole fucking hasn't.
I mean, listen, luckily I saw the whole thing, man. Crime Pettit, much better. El Duque, much better.
Wells.
David Wells, much better.
Cone.
Roger Clemens, much better. Completely different. Completely different planets, as far as I'm concerned. And this is coming from a Garrett Cole stan. I love watching Garrett Cole. When he's on, there's very few that can touch him in baseball. He is that good when he's on. Problem is, last year it would be like 1 in 5 starts. He'd maybe not be very good, but 4 of them he'd be pretty damn good. This year it's about 4 in 5. He's not been very good, and that's the truth. I mean, not very good for his standards is, about 350, 360. I mean, a lot of pitchers would love that, but this is not a lot of pitchers. This guy's getting paid $36 million a year, whatever it is, and he's being paid to be an ace, and he's pitching like a 3. And that's what we're paying him for. So if I'm holding him to that standard, I have to hold him to that standard. He has not been up to that standard. And in the 90s, you would take El Duque he was always our stopper. CC was always our stopper. Pettit was always our stopper. Clemens was always our stopper. David Wells was always our stopper. Those dudes always brought it. Always. And David Cone pitched a freaking perfect game.
Did you say Messina too?
Messina was awesome, man. Yeah, absolutely. Messina was incredible. Let's not forget the time where in that game where Aaron Boone hit the home run. It was Messina that saved the game when Joe Torre put him in a situation with the bases loaded, and I think we're 4-1 down, and he pitched it. It was base loaded, 0 outs, and he pitched a shutout, and he kept us in the game until we came back. So Messina was always excellent too. I mean, Garrett Cole last year was right up there, but not this year. He's not even close.
Let me say this, and I want to get some 2 comments. Next year, without Judge, Yankees will be a 4th place team. They might actually be.
Because they're stuck, as Donald's alluded to many times, they're stuck rebuilding and trying to win. Because it's like the retooling. Okay, we're going to bring up Volpe. We're going to bring up Peraza. Nobody knows.
Yeah. Thoughts on DeGrom soon to be free agency? Well, if he's not a Met, he ain't going to be a Yankee. That's just for damn sure. He'll probably be, a Dodger or one of other teams. Or he might be a Lone Star like Syndergaard is or Syndergaard was in Los Angeles. I'm the only person on the planet that thinks DeGrom is useless. This guy can't stay healthy and is a waste of money in my eyes. I want a pitcher who's around all year. Some points to be made.
Health has been a major problem with him.
Yeah, but here's what I want to say. And this is not controlling the editorial for this podcast or whatever. I hope the Knicks can be better, or they're at least something enough to talk about. I hope the Giants
100%.
can be good.
100%.
I hope the Giants can be good. I hope the Jets can do something or whatever.
Compete,
I'm not rooting for them, but I'm not. Do something. That way, in the months of November, late October, or even December, when the Yankees are fucking up free agency or doing any of that shit, what's going to happen?
I mean,
right?
He's not wrong.
When they're fucking up free agency and giving us these bullshit excuses as, my former Scottish professor would say, giving us these bullshit excuses, we could say, you know what? I'm going to focus on you. Giants, what do you got? Jets, what you got? Knicks, what you got? That's what I want it to be.
We'll be talking Nets too, but I listen. I'm not going to rely on the Knicks as my savior this year because I did that last year and they fucked up. But I'm just hoping for at least give me RJ Barrett and the young kids growing. That's it.
I mean, listen, I think the Yankees are going to get knocked out in the first round, the ALDS. I think they will. Even if they make it through, they're going to get fucked in the CS. And so by
I'm sorry to interrupt, Donald. I like how everybody's saying bring on the Astros.
Oh, yeah. Bring it on, all right. By mid-October, there'll be no Yankee baseball. And so, yeah, we're going to need competitive football. But listen, I could talk all day about football. It doesn't even necessarily need to be the Giants or the Jets. We'll watch all the games anyway. So we'll be fine for Mondays and stuff. But we do need the Knicks to be semi-competitive. They've got off to a great start while losing out on Donovan Mitchell. So we don't know what they've got this year. We don't know. We do not know.
It's more questions. And I'm gonna say this goes both the Knicks and the Yankees. More questions than answers for next year. 100%. Especially if Judge leaves. There goes your ticket sales.
And Joe's a guy. Okay, he's a character. By the way, Evan says, "Congrats on your Jets. Bring on the Guardians." I said this. I don't remember in which part I said it. I think I remember. I said, if we don't have an event because the Yankees blew the division lead, unless we have a stadium event next year, I ain't showing up. And I fucking promised that. The event is booked in, all that stuff. And if we not that I don't want to have an event. I want to have an event. But the purpose is to celebrate the Yankees. And if they blow this in these next few weeks and they don't win the division, you ain't seeing me at the stadium next year. Sorry. And you know what? I don't want no people coming out here telling me how to fan. Okay? That's one thing I hate. I know I could be very contradictory in terms of that. But if I don't want to go to the stadium and I'm mentioning it, don't tell me what to do. Okay? I invested money. I invested time. I invested content in this team. And what have they done to repay me? They haven't done anything. They haven't won anything.
They haven't even re-signed their best player.
Right.
No
They invested in a soccer team.
No return on the investment, folks. And it's, again, the biggest problem with this fan base is they do not read between the lines.
They don't, man.
They listen.
They buy it up like sheep. They lap up all the shit.
They are sheep.
They are.
They are sheep. And I know that's a political term for all that other crap, but they are sheep. Literally. Everyone's forgot because we won a couple of games. Everyone forgets about Aaron Hicks. You know, where is everybody to sit here and say, listen, this shit's not right? Social media is one thing, and I get it, but showing up to the stadium is another thing. Once again, I don't tell anybody how to fan, but if you want this team, in my personal opinion, to do something other than what they're doing right now, start giving them low attendances. Remember last year when they started getting low attendance? I don't know if they were 100% because of COVID and you know all this other crap.
No. Oh, it was. It was at 100%. It was like July, August, September.
We suck with crowds that part because the fans knew we sucked.
Yes, they did. They checked out. They were booing a lot of the time. I'll take it one step further. If they don't re-sign Aaron Judge, I'm done next year. I mean, it would be completely unacceptable.
Who's the face of the franchise?
And I do not care if they offer him $40 million a year and he turns down a $400 million contract and he walks away and takes something less somewhere else. And the Yankees will then spin it like, oh, we sent him an incredible offer, but he turned it down. That's up to him. I still don't give the Yankees a break. Why? Because they could have bought out his arbitration years ago. They could have signed him years ago. There's no excuse for him to be in this spot right now with him having a better year than fucking Babe Ruth and him not having a contract next year. That is not on Aaron Judge. That is on Brian Cashman. That is on Brian fucking Cashman because he prioritized Severino, he prioritized Aaron fucking Hicks, he prioritized everybody over re-signing the fucking star player who's got half of right field named after him. So if the Yankees don't pony up and pay him what they should have fucking paid him in the start of the offseason, because let's not forget, the excuse in the offseason was, we're not going to sign Corey Seager, we're not going to go and get involved in the Korea sweepstakes, or we're not going to get involved in Olsen, we're not going to get involved in Freddie Freeman. Why? Because we need to re-sign Aaron Judge. Did you re-sign Aaron Judge? No, you didn't. You offered him a fair offer.
But it was actually bondsman, remember? Those bondsmen just came out of nowhere.
They offered him.
You know what's funny? I read the other week.
Just say that they offered him market value, right? But Aaron Judge is so far ahead of fucking market value, it's not even true. So they fucked that up as well. It's all spin. It's all lies. It's all lies, and I'm not buying any more of it. Look, finish your point.
What I was going to say was, now I'm just starting to blank out for some reason. When it came,
Donald is loose.
Yeah, Donald is loose. Alex, can you please remember? I don't know. I'm fucking winded. I'm just so pissed off of this whole thing.
We were talking about Judge. Were you talking about the fans? Were you talking about events?
No.
We're talking about re-signing Aaron Judge.
Re-signing Aaron Judge. You know, they're going to, obviously, Donald said they're going to put the spin on it. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
You don't remember what you said?
I legitimately don't.
By the way, we were talking about low attendance last year. Around the time they opened up 100% for the Angels game. How much does the stadium hold? 48,000?
48,000 plus.
23,000 one of those games. And they won.
Oh, I know what I was going to say now. It's going to – the media, even if Judge breaks the records or wins the Triple Crown or both, they're going to find a way to spin this and fans will eat it up like fucking Cheerios. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Lindsay Adler, all these fucking morons. Unreal. Unfucking real.
I mean, you know the Yankees are going to patent this season. Even if they re-sign him, they're going to patent it. It's going to be on every fucking lunchbox.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Michael Kay said about a week ago or two, he said that the 55% of the team is owned by Hal and 45% is other investors. You know how much bullshit that is? I think that's
where were these investors when George was alive?
Exactly. Oh, he has to answer to 45% as well. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's. I think there's some spin there. I'm not even joking about that.
There's so even.
It is. There's no think about it. It's all spin.
There's two things you can make about it. A, the 45% should push Hal to make this team better. Or B, Hal still has the majority. So he needs to go all in, but he's not. Eat the Cheerios. Luca quotables. Evan says Yankees better re-sign Judge. If they don't, nobody will go to games next year.
No,
unfortunately, Evan, that's not entirely true because people will still buy the chicken buckets and all that. You're saying, Luca?
The Yankees will still be satisfied. They're going to say Volpe's coming up next year, even though he'll be here in 2024. And we're going to give Oswald Peraza a chance, even though Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is still at shortstop.
Yeah,
we're going to give Estevan Florial a chance, or Everson Pereira a chance, even though Aaron Hicks is still here. We're going to give Harrison Bader a chance. I mean,
so even if the Yankees do manage to get Aaron Judge to agree to stay, it will be for hundreds of millions more than they could have signed him about 2 years ago, or even at the start of the offseason. That's what I'm talking about. The Yankees are not that good at business. Even though they're obsessed with business, they're obsessed with the bottom line, they're obsessed with chicken buckets, they're obsessed with making money, they're not very good at foresight. You know, they're talking about how the Yankees love to pretend that they're smarter than everybody else and they're like they see 10 steps ahead. Well, I could have told them 10 steps ahead that Aaron Judge was going to ball out in his contract year, and that for somebody that, considering the Yankees market their entire franchise on Aaron Judge, half of right field's named after him. He is their most marketable player. He sells all their fucking tickets. He sells all their fucking shirts. How did that not come into play when they offered him a fair market value contract? I mean, of course now the political spin is, but they offered a market value. Yeah, but you should have fucking ponied up considering how much more important he is to the franchise than just market value, because it's going to cost them hundreds of millions more by doing that, by doing what they've done now, than had they just been smart a couple of years ago and bought out his arbitration and signed him to a reasonable contract like Seattle did with Rodriguez, and you name it, I can go through it.
Braves. What's his name? Vaughn Grissom. Or is it Michael Harris? Might have been both, actually.
I want to say it was Harris.
Rays, Wander Franco. Padres, Tatis.
Freddy's Tatis. I'm telling you, the Yankees are not that good at frickin' business. But of course, they'll have everybody in the media who looks after them, like John Heyman, will just go and spin it going, but the Yankees offered the fair market value. But he...
I want to read some comments, but you know what I'm talking about, Donald. That article about how Jeter would be never the GM or whatever the hell it was.
Fuck off.
How can have his unlimited chicken buckets? The fans will not pay for his 50 yachts. I was being a little sarcastic, but everyone is there to see Judge. Yeah, he's marketable. Okay, let's go for NYM News TV. I know it was a joke at one point that Pete was making, and your $5 Pepsi. Yeah, the $7 almost, I think, right? Something like that.
I don't think there's enough Met fans in the world to make it worth NY.
Donald mentioned this in the earlier part of the podcast, and he was talking about leadership. He said how Michael Kay brought up how George Steinbrenner never believes in admitting one's wrong because that's not proper leadership. I mean, that's what the Yankees like to do, right? Michael Kay kind of stood for it. Brian Cashman has not admitted he was wrong. Aaron Boone doesn't do it. I mean, it all makes sense now.
It really does. It really does. It's honestly, it's like the most political organization I've ever fucking seen. They're worse than any political party.
Oh my God, I don't know why that made me laugh.
But it is true, man. I mean, listen, John Heyman protects the Yankees like nothing on earth. What he tweeted, what was that awful article? Let's get that on.
The Jeter one. How he's not going to be the GM.
He writes for the Post. You know what? I'm sharing this. I'm sharing this right now. Because now I'm in a.
He's locked in.
I'm locked in. Was this 4 reasons Jeter won't replace Cashman as Yankee GM?
Yeah. That's right.
All right. We are going to read this aloud. I feel like we're in reading class.
Oh, God. I hate reading class.
All right. I'll be like, Donald, please read the first paragraph. Even though I'm not going to do that. So we are on the New York Post page. John Heyman, scumbag. All right. Number 1. Brian Cashman's not in danger of losing his job, despite some fans' wishes. Maybe if the Yankees fall out of the first round, then exit quickly to wild card. But even then, yes, some recent Cashman moves aren't working, but evaluating a general manager takes the full record into account, and he has 25 years.
That last 2 sentences is exactly the spin.
It's exactly spin. Close that fucking absolute spin.
Good. JetBlue's better.
Number 2,
fucking sentences.
Yankees boss Hal Steinbrenner values stability in a way his father never did. He's not likely to completely.
He doesn't value winning like his fucking father either.
He's not likely to completely change course off a disappointing 90-something win season. And if
disappointing.
He's
unlikely, disappointing.
And he's unlikely to hire an unproven commodity.
Can I say something right now? Their podcast, Joel Sherman and John Heyman, just bought out by the Yes Network.
Joel Sherman's a Met fan.
Their podcast was bought by the Yes Network, so you know what to expect now. Every podcast that's bought by the Yes Network is going to be spin.
When did you find this out?
Do you remember that tweet by Real Bo Sheck that said John Boy was purchased by the Yes Network?
Oh, right.
And John Heyman
was
purchased by...
Jeter isn't known to be interested in a general manager job. He was CEO in Miami, so general manager technically would be a step down. Yes, if it's the Yankees, not the Marlins, but the GM that comes with the issues that may deter Jeter, such as accepting constant criticism. Cashman
Fuck
deals.
off.
You would. What? Okay, so everybody thought he was roses and butterflies in fucking Miami. No, everybody hated him because he rebuilt. That's fucking stupid. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Criticism.
Cashman deals with it. Jeter.
No shit, Sherlock.
Cashman deals with it. Jeter liked only praise as an all-time great player.
What the fuck?
Absolutely, he deals with it all right. He fucking deals with it all right.
trash.
Where was he? Where was he in Jeter Day? Where was he in Paul O'Neill Day? He's hiding because he didn't want to get booed. The fucking prick. What about when Brian Cashman came up with a wonderful idea with the opener, right? And then at the postseason press conference, he had a fucking dossier, a fucking folder, and he lied and he spun and he spun and he spun, and then he went after the media going, "How dare you call Aaron Boone a puppet? How dare you? How dare you say that Hal Steinbrenner doesn't pay money, whatever." All he does is not take criticism. He fucking spins in order to avoid criticism. He's a fucking politician, man. He doesn't take fucking criticism at all.
Let's continue. I feel like I'm doing a reading. Jeter liked only praise as an all-time great player, and in case he's reading,
off.
he
He
was
was.
just that.
That's fucking stupid. Like, you're gonna like criticism, really?
Oh,
But at least
no. Look at this last sentence. He started the Players Tribune, which only presents authorized, sanitized news, the kind he likes. That means he says he likes spin. He only likes to hear positive thoughts.
What does Brian Cashman like then?
Jeter
This
likes
is
only
fucking
praise. Jeter liked only praise as an all-time great player.
Really? Because Jeter also said,
And in case he's reading, he was just that. He had 350,000 fucking hats. What do you mean? Of course he was just that. Yes. He's in the fucking Mount Rushmore of the Yankees. What the fuck? What are you fucking talking about? That's not even a question. You don't even need to mention that. Oh, in case he's reading, I'm going to suck your cock. No, you actually just fucking slapped him in the face while sucking his cock. You fucking
he
prick.
bit on it.
Yeah, he's a fucking lying little scumbag. And what is this nonsense about the Player Tribune? What about Brian Cashman? All he does is fucking lie and spin. He's got media protecting his ass like you. Like you.
The media is his secret service.
Fuck, it literally
right.
is that. Hold on. But you know what? You know what's the difference between Jeter and Cashman? Jeter hates fucking losing. He literally said in how many interviews? Well, we lost. Well, you still won. We lost. There's a difference between him and Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman will take off games. Fuck you, fucking scumbag.
All right. Ready for number 4?
Is that like Robbie Sabo, like the Jets? Robbie Sabo?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There's no evidence Jeter would be a better GM than Brian Cashman. Sentence number 1 reads: Cashman has won 4 titles, and while it's been a while, the Yankees contend annually.
They contend for a consolation in their standards.
There's so much spin is insane.
While Jeter
so much spin, I'm dizzy.
While Jeter remained above the fray in Miami due to his exalted title, he was the de facto GM according to
exalted. You asshole.
If he was the de facto GM, then why did you just say
guys? You are missing something. He contradicted himself. He said he said he was CEO, and let's go up. So he has this here. He was the de facto GM.
Yeah.
All right.
He said it would be a step down.
GM would be a step down, but the GM job comes with issues that may deter Jeter. He just contradicted himself.
Exactly. He just said he was a fucking de facto general manager.
Do they not have editors over there?
Well, their editors are morons. They know what they're doing. They're smart. And while it isn't easy winning on a shoestring, things didn't go well.
Oh God, I'm fucking. Oh
They
God,
made the playoffs 2 years ago.
no. I'm looking at that third paragraph, and he's already blaming
Here we
Jeter
go.
for
Even
them.
before the disappointing season played out, Jeter and ownership parted ways. And it's hard to imagine Jeter really left because they wouldn't let him spend $100 million on Nick
What the
Castellanos, as reports suggested.
Go to the next sentence, and I'm a rant.
They spent $92 million on Azeez Garcia.
Asshole. They spent $70 million on Hicks. They spent how many million on fucking Jacoby Ellsbury?
I'll
They
highlight
spent
the
$36
sentence.
million on Garrett Cole. Don't tell me about $92 million for a fucking Azeez Garcia, okay?
They spent $92 million signing Garcia and Jorge Soler, who got hurt. You really think he's quitting on a staff he hired over $8 million in free agency spending money?
What? This is the worst article I might have ever read.
Last paragraph. We could all breathe. In reality, some partners were said to be unhappy with the team is still losing money in games at the same time.
They got fucking cheap ass owners. Hello.
Anyway, Castellanos is barely better than Garcia, who's out again with the hamstring after underperforming.
What
Garcia's
about
been
Aaron fucking Hicks? What about half the fucking rotation?
Castellanos is not better than Azeez.
Garcia has been called
Fucking
Jeter's
moron.
parting gift. Since $14 million a year for a non-producer is disastrous for a team that still doesn't draw mosquitoes.
But he just contradicted himself again. He goes, "Oh, they spend money on Azeez Garcia. Oh, Castellanos is barely better than him." Then make a fucking this. Oh my God, that was the worst article I think I've ever read in my life. Let's see.
See, everybody, this is why I want to become a journalist.
Joe is cool in Metland. He had to rush this article.
No, he didn't rush his article. He took his sweet ass time and he knew he was writing.
He had Brian Cashman on the phone as he was writing it.
Exactly. Brian Cashman hates Derek Jeter. Brian Cashman did not like it when Derek Jeter made that little pointed comment, like, hopefully you'll see a lot more of me in the future. And all Yankee fans cheered like Jesus had fucking landed, right? Brian Cashman was like, got his little pussy all upset, and then he got his little media minions to send out some Jeter hate. That article is complete lies. It's
Bullshit.
all spin. It was all spin. First of all, Derek Jeter had to completely rebuild an entire operation, rebuild it entirely from the very, very bottom. And within 2 years, they make the playoffs with a shoestring budget and trading away all their big-time contracts and all their big-time players and made the playoffs. But where was that mentioned? I didn't see that mentioned. And also, what's this de facto GM thing? The general manager is the fucking general manager, Kim, who he fucking headhunted from the Yankees, who he got credit for because Kim is one of the higher-rated general managers in the game right now. So that is all spin and lies, and that's what I'm trying to fucking tell, as we're all just trying to tell fucking Yankee fans, read between the lines. And also Derek Jeter, I don't think he does want to be general manager. First of all, because it's not. He never even mentioned the fact he's a family guy. He's a family man. He's got daughters that he loves and he wants to spend most of his time with. He's not going to do 24/7, 365 days a week being a general manager. What he will be is, I'm telling you, he'd be a really good president of baseball operations, and he'll hire a good general manager like he did with Kim in Florida, and then he'd oversee it and he'd have a hand in it. And I'll tell you what, there'd be some fucking accountability. None of that exists right now, Yankee land.
Brian Cashman is lucky he has a job. More than lucky. It's
Cashman's
hilarious.
crazy. Yep.
Because imagine if this was the reaction to Plato. Luca, lower your voice. Like you. Alex, you forgetting about us overpaying for Cole. I did mention that. Massive salute to Alex, Luca, and Donald. Shouts Tudo from Italy. Bro, this is Heyman. He's terrible. He's more than terrible.
It's horrible.
Laughing face. get paid to write 20-minute essays.
I could tell you right now. I could have written a better article than that.
Oh, I write better
Cashman
articles.
is scared of Jeter. No, Cashman just hates Jeter. Cashman just hates Jeter.
Every article I send out and write, I spend hours to make sure that it's of a decent standard. That was all lies, and it was all spin in order to protect his buddy Brian Cashman.
I think it's what the New York Post has actually become. I don't like the New York Post anymore when it comes to the sports stuff. I don't really like the satiricals and the political articles, but the people who they hire, Mark Berman, Joe, as you mentioned, John Heyman, Brian Costello, they hire stupid people.
They hire homers.
Well, that's it. I don't know if they're stupid, but I'll tell you what, they're very much tainted. They're every article they send out has an agenda. That was agenda filled. It was just filled, dripping with agenda of Derek Jeter is not good and blah blah blah. He's obsessed with himself and even kind of demeaned how good he was as well. Oh,
belittled him.
We only like people that liked him. We only like people that liked his ability. And if you're reading this, no, he's not reading it because he doesn't give a fuck about you, you little prick.
Yeah. I hate Brian Hoke just like everyone else. I don't like the media in general. Hoke, he's, like everybody else.
I don't like Cuddy too much. Oh, I don't mind that. Hoke's okay. Hoke's okay.
I don't like anybody from that. Sweeney, Murdy. I think he went at Pete. No, Pete went at him, and they had a little argument in the offseason. Ryan Rucco, I remember he was a yes boy for Aaron Boone. Lindsey Adler, all these other things. No, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of the beat.
Yeah, I remember when we signed Aaron Hicks to a contract, the whole Yankee fan base were like, yay, we got Aaron Hicks for 10 years. And I said very unpopularly that it was going to be a complete disaster. And then Ryan Rucco replied saying, how could you say that? He's done this war, that war, whatever. And I says, he's always injured. He's not good. I was right. He was wrong.
Right. Hopefully Judge hits 60 tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully I try to be in one of the attendance for one of those games. FYI, a really good beat writer to keep an eye on is Charlotte Carroll of The Athletic. Yes, she was just signed to the Giants beat. So yeah, I do follow her. She was a UConn beat writer for she was beat writer for UConn a few years ago. Just got promoted a few months ago to Giants beat. Yep. Alex had a nice discussion last night with Pizzle about us Yankee fans. Yeah, Pizzle doesn't necessarily understand what we go through. Listen. Lovable losers in Chicago. Listen, it's a process, but some people just, and this is real. I'll tell him to his face. He just doesn't understand what Yankee fans go through. And I had to tell him there's 75% of the fan base that's tough, and the rest of the 25% of fan base are satisfied pussies. That's what it is. But any final thoughts on this subject? I think we're going to close out with our picks.
Oh, that was a lot. I had to get off my chest. I've been really pissed off for a while.
I was on Cop Pizzle's show.
On a positive, what Aaron Judge is doing is beyond belief, and it's a privilege, and we're very, very privileged to be able to watch it every day. He is that good.
I had no idea Li was on Cop Pizzle's show, but hey, Luca, any final thoughts?
I'm ready for picks, man.
All right. So just as I said, if Jets Mess is still in here, I'm going to get his record from last week. Same thing with Tony. But the records right now, both Donald and Luca combined are 19-13, and then I am 13-19. So I'm terrible. Just to put it that way. And week 2, we're in week 3, so I'm going to put. Let's see.
I need to find a pen.
You're gonna wait. You got a pen and pencil, Donald?
I'm gonna get a pen. Give me a minute.
All right, he's gonna get a pen and a pencil. This is how we're gonna do this. Gonna wait on the good old Donald. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, everybody. If you've been tuning in with us these 3 hours, Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Also, share out as well. Very important. Getting us out on social media. Let's see something real quick. Stupid Twitter. Yeah, I'm just looking at some. Okay. So Donald's on his way back. Tony's also ready, so that's good. Donald is, what's that? Like, it's gotta be like 4 or 5 in the morning where he is.
Yeah.
And then he gets to sleep in, depending on if he does Chronicles, but who knows?
I'll probably sleep in right through that as well, to be fair. So anyway.
Yes, with that being said, Tony. With that being
With
said,
that being
that's on
said.
that's on the charts, right, Luca?
Correct.
All right. NFL schedule week 3. Waiting on it. Week 3. Okay. Steelers at Browns.
Ooh.
Evan Donald lives in Scotland. I'm going to take the Browns here.
I think the Browns are pissed. Coming off an embarrassing loss to the Jets, I'm taking the Browns.
Donald?
Luca?
Oh, I said the Browns.
Well, I really don't like either team, but I'm going to go with the Browns too because I think Nick Chubb will do the business. But listen, I think the Steelers need to change their quarterback and put in a better quarterback. They put in their rookie. I think they'll be better.
Yeah. Tony says the Browns. Evan also says, I really respect you for coming on this late at night once a week, my man, in response to you, Donald. So he thanks you for coming on. Okay, so do we have all the Browns, or are you going with the Steelers?
All Browns.
Okay. The Steelers might win. Saints, Panthers. Panthers are the home team. I'm going to take the Saints.
Same.
Absolutely.
All right. Cleveland is a 5.5 point favorite, and New Orleans is 3-point favorite. Falcons at Seahawks.
Falcons, Seahawks. Wow.
Going Seattle.
I'm going to take a hot take. I'm going to take the Falcons.
I'm going to take the Falcons as well. So, Alex, you've gone Seattle. I'm going Falcons. Luca going Falcons.
No, I got Falcons. Luca's going Seattle, right?
Yes.
So, just a little switcheroo there. But the Falcons.
Oh, wait. So, Alex, sorry, you're going Falcons.
I'm Falcons. Luca is Seahawks.
Right. Okay.
I think they had a close game last week. Bit of a blowout for the Seahawks against the 49ers. And I think Marcus Mariota, he does a better job this week. They almost had a win. Almost. Texans at Bears, concerning Tony's team. I find this one interesting.
Texans, Bears.
Oh, this one's tough.
I'm going to go Bears. I think they'll find a way to get out of this. Won't be unscathed, though.
Oh, man, fuck. I'm going to go ahead. This is tough. I'm going to take the Bears. That's so slightly, but I'm going to take the Bears.
Who's at home?
Bears. Oh, Bears.
I'm going to go Texans.
All right.
So the Bears are 2.5-point favorites. Raiders at Titans. The battle of the 0-2.
Oof.
This is tough.
I think the Raiders pull this one out. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Titans right now. They got their ass whooped one week and they choked the previous week.
I'm going Tennessee.
Didn't the Titans just get obliterated?
They're pissed.
Exactly.
41-7 was it last time I checked?
Something like that, yeah. I think they do other things this week.
So I'm definitely going to Raiders.
Hey, Roach, are you guys coming back on this week? Well, the Roach will be our guest next week.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting right next to Alex, and Alex is going to, interview him.
I'm gonna do a film breakdown. I'm gonna talk to it. It's on my side. Hey, listen, Daniel Jones has got to hit that throw right there. Evan Neal, he's
Listen,
he's
you fucking cockroach.
You fucking.
And then the cockroach is going to jump on Alex's face.
Say hello to my little friend, you fucking cockroach.
Cockroach.
So nobody is. It's no spread for the Raiders Titans yet. Chiefs Colts. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Chiefs. I got to find out which game I have to bet on this week.
What's going on with the Colts, man?
Matt Ryan's washed through 3 interceptions.
Are we all going Chiefs?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, most likely, Evan. I will be streaming the game next Monday. But I think if Jess Smith was actually asking an actual question, Dead Reds Thursday. I don't think I have anything else. I mean, I'll have the podcast out tomorrow, which I actually still have to upload, but that's no worries to me. So everybody's going Chiefs.
Yep.
All right. Divisional game. Bills at Dolphins.
I'm going
Bills.
Buffalo. They're riding high.
Really good matchup, but yeah, I'm going Buffalo.
All right.
Are we all going Buffalo?
Yep. Lions at Vikings.
Lions are coming inspired off of a win, and the Vikings just got their ass creamed. Kirk Cousins looking for revenge.
Vikings.
I'm going Vikings.
Same.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. 2 Lions in the comments. Ravens at Patriots. I'm taking the Ravens.
That's actually a Fox game.
So stupid. But I'm taking the Ravens.
I'm taking the Ravens too.
I'm taking the Ravens.
All right.
We're all going to have a very similar record this week.
Yeah. Bengals at Jets.
Bengals come pissed off into MetLife. I'm taking the Bengals just because.
Wow.
Are we all
I'm
Bengals?
going to take the Bengals too.
Yep.
Unless they start Mike White.
So
Right.
the last 4 picks, Buffalo, Vikings, Ravens, Bengals, and the Chiefs, we're all going. Jesus. Okay.
Tony says an upset. The Jets are going to win. Right.
All right.
Eagles at Commanders. I'm picking the Eagles.
Yeah.
They might mop the floor with them.
Are we all Eagles?
Or
Yeah.
Toluca? Yeah. All right. Jaguars Chargers.
Oh.
I'm taking the Chargers. For some reason, okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
We're just going to have all the same picks. Because there's no way I'm rooting against the Chargers against the Jags. No way.
I'm going to go Chargers.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like with the Giants game, we're going to be split, but we're not there yet. Rams at Cardinals. I'm going to take the Cards.
I'm going to take the
Cards are home.
I think I'm going to take the Rams.
Okay. Let me think here. Arizona at home. I don't think the Rams defense did too well against quarterbacks that run. But the Rams defense has shown up the last 2 weeks in general. I think they've been fairly good, so I'm going to go the Rams.
All right. Green Bay in Tampa Bay. So the Battle of the Bay. I'm taking the
Tampa.
Bucks.
Damn. Who's at home?
Tampa.
Yeah. Sorry. I have to go Tampa Bay.
This is a very odd Sunday Night Football. 49ers at Broncos.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. I just remembered Evans is out.
He is suspended.
I'm still picking Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Tampa Bay
I'm
at
gonna
home.
Even
change
without
my
Chris
vote.
Godwin and
Yep. I'm gonna go Green Bay because they've got a really good running game and their defense will be worn down. So I'm actually gonna go Green Bay.
Luca, you stay with the.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
I'm staying in Tampa Bay. I'm probably being alliance with Brian. Um, 49ers Broncos.
Ugh, what a disgusting matchup.
Jimmy Garoppolo versus Russell Wilson. Like it was like in division.
I'll take the Niners, actually.
I'm gonna go 49ers too.
Same. 49ers.
All right. Final one. Cowboys at Giants.
This is not fair.
I'm gonna go Giants. I think they pull it out for a third straight week. It's one of those. It's gonna be one of those grind victories again. I think the offense will get to a slow start, but when it comes to crunch time, they'll win.
I'm sorry, man. I got to pick the Cowboys.
Ew.
Listen, I want to win. If we fucking win like 17-16, I'll go ballistic. But it's prime time. The Giants, yeah, they're riding the hot hand. But I don't know. I feel like the Giants are going to get kind of caught into reality this game. Whether it's Daniel Jones, whether it's the back end, whether it's the running game. I don't know. I hopefully the Giants actually have a game plan in terms of their passing game. Otherwise, I'm sorry. I'm going to pick against my team this week.
I'm sorry, G-Man. Sorry, Giants Nation. I have to go the Cowboys. I just think that they have too many weapons. And Daniel
Dallas might be coming back.
And Daniel
out probably.
And Daniel Jones has never once won a primetime game yet. So,
Wow.
that's the proof is in the pudding at that point. So, will I be shocked if the Giants win? Not at all. But they got CeeDee Lamb, Pollard, Elliott. Got enough weapons there that could cause some problems. So,
we stop the run. If we stop the run like we did with Henry, and if we limit Tony Pollard with those 3 safety sets, I'm not as worried. But at the same time, I want to see how this offensive line handles the pass rush.
I could see us being 21-10 up going into the fourth quarter, and we're thinking, oh, my God, it's happening. And then 2 late touchdowns, probably a couple of questionable refereeing calls, and then
I personally don't think so. I don't think it would end like that. Now, obviously, everybody has their own opinion, but I could see the Giants, it'd be like a 15-12 game in the fourth quarter, or maybe even up by force. The Giants, it'd be like, I think
it's going to be like 17-14 in the fourth quarter.
17-13 in the fourth quarter. The Cowboys have the lead. As I said, if he could win against the Cowboys, if Daniel Jones could bump up that passer rating when the Giants are behind and keep them afloat and not do anything to fucking lose, I'll praise him for that.
I think if Adori's aggressive on CeeDee Lamb, that shouldn't be a problem.
Well, let's think of their weapons. They got CeeDee Lamb, which here's what I'm worried about. What if Kellen Moore places him in the slot next to Darnay Holmes? We're fucked.
Totally fucked.
Well,
You think
Noah
Robinson's
Brown
coming
has
back
gone
this
off.
week?
Huh?
You think Robinson's coming back this week?
It's tough to tell, honestly. They got Noah Brown, who's gone off. Depth chart.
At least you have your. Is Jalen Smith a coverage linebacker?
He's more of a tackle guy, but we have safeties, so I'm not too concerned. Cowboys 27, Giants 17. We have favorable matchups when we got Kayvon back. Cowboys, no Dak, no problem. G-Men. Pollard, 50 yards rushing, 4 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown, I think he meant. So look at their weapons. Obviously, you got Zeke and Pollard in the backfield. At wide receiver, you got Gallup, Brown. I don't know I don't know. I haven't seen the Gallup stat report, not the stat report, the injury report. Dalton Schultz could be out, but if that's more favorable, I'm just a little worried about this offense and them actually having a plan.
Yeah, you don't want them. You don't want them to be anemic.
I think that the Giants are going to hold the Cowboys for the first 3 quarters, but I don't know if we have enough offensively. I think Saquon will do his thing, but I don't know what we're really going in our receiving game right now. And to trust Daniel Jones to air it out a number of occasions to pull it out, I'm guessing 24-21 Cowboys at the end. But listen, I think that we actually match up very favorably, especially without Prescott. I think there's a very good chance we win, but I just think that more likely that we win the week after than this one.
That's a fair assessment.
We go 3-1, and if we do win on Monday, we haven't gone 3-0 even since before 2016.
That would be just crazy, and then it'll be real party time.
The Giants went 3-0.
If we win on this stream, I'm gonna have to have beers. Let's freaking going everywhere, man.
Okay, so 20. No. Okay, not 2014. Not 2015 either. 2013, no, because we lost 6 straight. 2011, no. So, wow, we're going back in the history books for this one, folks. 2010, no. 2009, okay. So if we were to win next Monday, that would put us 3-0 for the first time since 2009.
Ooh.
So, pretty lengthy streak there.
Wow.
Yeah, I pray we don't either, because if we beat the Cat, I don't know what Thanksgiving's going to bring. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what Thanksgiving. Everyone's going to say, "Oh, we're going to beat the Cowboys." I don't know about that.
You don't know if Dak's back and Zeke attack.
Yeah. But anyway, we've been going for 3 hours, 40 minutes. Luca, Donald, myself for final thoughts.
Appreciate coming on here again, talking football, talking baseball, reviewing John Heyman articles. But appreciate everybody that comes on here every week. I hand it to every one of these members, Alex and Donald. Donald obviously staying up till like 5 in the morning where he is, but appreciate the contribution for everybody in the podcast.
Donald.
Yep. Echo Lucas' sentiments there. Thank you so much for everybody in the chat. Anybody who hasn't already done so, please like and subscribe. But thanks so much for all the loyalty. Every Monday, you guys always bring it on the comments, so I really appreciate it. And you know, I always love being a co-host with the twins here. So bring it on the next week.
Yes, sir. So tomorrow at 12:30, the recap pod will be out. We'll also likely tonight it will be on podcast platforms, maybe even tomorrow morning. But we appreciate you guys. That's out tomorrow, even a little more likely tomorrow's in 10 minutes. But Twin Bill on Wednesday, it's going to be recorded. And then we'll see where we go from there. Dead Red on Thursday. Friday, in the weekend, we'll see what we're doing. And then you have us back, not necessarily for a show, but next Monday live stream. So if you guys want to come in, still talk a little bit baseball and all that stuff, we're flexible on a lot of things. So it's not just football when we're doing football. If the Giants, for some reason, are disinteresting, I'll move back to accents and dirty jokes and all that other garbage.
We got to create a little borderline for when I'll do that. Like if it's third, I don't think it's 13. Probably 17. 17.
Okay. So hopefully the Giants don't get to that. But anyway, we appreciate you guys for coming out. And we will see you next time. Peace.